And like, I'm honestly, I'm about to put like,
You're thinking about
I'm about putting a request in. Like, I don't understand
changing
why.
to the normal lunch?
No, not changing, but telling them. Like, honestly, no more dried up salmon.
Well, you know, the feedback I gave was we get a salad lunch and 40% of my plate is this pasta salad, which is like heavy carbs. And I'm like, and that was my thing was like, look, if I'm getting a salad, one of the reasons you get a salad is because I don't want to eat all those heavy carbs. I can live with every now and then, okay, fine.
No, but the normal lunch is better then, because then you just get your own salad.
Yeah, that's I've been considering going to the normal lunch because of that. But I like the consistency of the old salad we used to get. I gotta say one thing about the jerk chicken though.
What?
There was a place we went to. Obviously in Florida, it's all seafood everywhere. They had like grouper and all the normal stuff, and they had jerk seasoning with it.
Wow, that's
that's
what you're looking for.
But until I got there, I hadn't realized I've never had any fish jerk flavored. Never in my life.
Really? Well, I mean, Cajun flavored is pretty catfish.
Yeah, Cajun. I've never had jerk flavored fish of any kind.
Oh boy.
All different other types.
I'm in the wrong chat. I just saw someone say, "Oh boy," there. What did the Playmaker win? Because they went long. I'm assuming
if you test Unity again, I think my Unity's not working because I can't hear any of that.
Don't worry about it.
But the only thing. Oh, position board's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only in.
Show me in.
I'm in one.
What? Okay, I'm long Palantir.
Okay, well then it's not right. Well, this is right for me. I am in AMD right now, but the market got right to the highs. Super strong day for the.
There we go.
Relatively strong day. I shouldn't say a super strong day, up 0.5%, but the NASDAQ right back at the highs. The ES doing very well, but you just wicked the top.
Yeah.
AMD got to VWAP at 105 essentially. So I'm back into that one. But AMD early wasn't good because I lost on a long and lost on a short. We're just in it for the third time here. So now we're starting to try to get something back on it. But a strong day overall for the market. You heard Sharif and Joe talking about all these mags wanting green. Apple did get green. Strong move off of these bottoms here because Apple was languishing all day. However, Tesla still down 5%. Nvidia still down 2%, even with this bounce. It is not all good everywhere. As a matter of fact, I was trying to get some 120s on Nvidia. Don't think that's going to come into play. What was strong and gapping up and so strong on Friday, not leading the path. You know, today, the long in chips, it was Intel. Marvell was strong. There was a good recovery in Broadcom after a bit of a dump this morning.
Bouncing back?
But not so great for NVDA or Tesla. Tesla's a real one. Down 5% even after bouncing $5. It's at VWAP now and down 5%.
Yeah, no, Tesla, tough trade. Today, unless you were short, of course. Thinking long in this market up 0.6, that's nice. We switched over a little bit here. We're just in the long now on Palantir. We just tried it at that 86.20, didn't work. And I was like, you know what, these futures are blasting. We might as well just go long. So we'll take a quick L and then quickly get out. Again, it was working to the downside, stopped at 86, and now it's starting to get all the way back. We've done really well. My number one stock today is TQs. Same trade. We got a great short there when we came back, 12.15, dropped all the way back in, out at VWAP, and now, like at the high of the day here, I've flipped over to Palantir longs, but this TQQ here at the high of the day, it's worth the risk. I don't know, I'm trying to think that maybe there is more rally to come today as the NASDAQ right back to highs. Like, why are we here? Like we didn't even really retest VWAP. We haven't retested anything on the 50-period moving average. I could see us dripping in and then blasting off. But for right now, I don't really want to go long the futures up here when we've seen a pullback into the afternoon quite often. So we'll wait to see. I don't have any stats backing that up. It's just a feeling like that I get, and we'll wait to see. So right now, trying to take out new highs. There it goes. So things like we're right on that one. Look at Palantir starting to go. We've got QBTS. QBTS is the same trade from the open, so we still got that on board. And then here goes Palantir up to 77. We'll take a piece out there, and 79s. So a nice little winner there. 40 cents. It's a chicken dinner winner, although. Joe, honestly, man, I'm looking over there, I'm seeing that jerk chicken. Go.
Like, that's not even.
Did Adara have any jerk chicken? Like, what was the spice?
Look at the volume he's got over there. Come on.
Bro, Joe, let me see. Did you just show Joe on there? I want to see Joe. I want to see him again. It's not focused enough. It's not focused. Put it at your face.
The rice and peas.
How many pieces of chicken you got there, my guy? Like, what is going on over
And the
here?
real slaw.
That's it, Joe. You better stop. You better stop.
First of all, you know he took 2 servings on that plate.
I thought me and Joe were friends. Like, we have him on the show last week. Everyone's loving Joe. Now this
not
guy's
how
got
much you get.
more chicken than he's the size of his head over there. And we get a little piece of salmon that is like, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd feed it to my dog.
I'm still hungry. I think I'm getting a headache because I'm still hungry.
Nah, I'm just playing around. The salmon wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
No, but compared to the jerk chicken that this dude's going to be eating, and by the way,
you see everyone in the chat
the
is
real
loving
West Indian coleslaw, and it's not about the vinegary coleslaw. It's the fact that you don't forget about the mayo. No mayo.
But it looks like there's mayo in this one.
No. See, like,
no, I know, but that's why
an island coleslaw, like no mayonnaise.
Right, that's what I thought. Remember, I was like, it's vinaigrette, but I think
Yeah.
this one has mayo. Right.
Not supposed. It shouldn't have.
Yeah,
even
okay,
if it does, it should be really light mayo. So just like a tiny little hint of.
Hey, I went with the London fog today,
we don't deal with,
hoping to get some wins.
We don't deal with mayonnaise.
With a shot of espresso.
Oh, you're not playing around.
No, but that's Ramin's style. She was telling me.
I screwed up having. Anyways,
when you get a free coffee, you can get like a latte. So that's.
So first thing, AMD broke this resistance. Can you come to my chart for 2 seconds?
I won on the weekend.
This resistance, 105.10. We were shorted a few times in there, and it just kind of broke just now. So I'm out of AMD, not in any positions. But I screwed up because every single day, starting Saturday when I flew out till yesterday when I came back, I didn't have more than 1 coffee any day. And it's almost like my body quickly adjusted to it because I feel more tired than normal. I had my normal amount of coffee. I feel like I should have just stuck to the 1 because it's good to reduce my caffeine intake on vacation. Should have stuck to the 1.
Sure, yeah. I mean, on the weekend, I don't even really have a coffee, I don't think, really. Unless we go to, a hockey game or something, we'll get a coffee, but I don't drink.
Timmy's.
I don't drink too much there.
Arm is having a party.
I don't even.
Arm is having a party.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sharif is ready. I mean, maybe Arm's on the list. We'll go find out about it. Amazon's going upside too. So we'll wait to see what's happening right now in this market as we approach day's high, Sharif.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, they're back and they're locked and they're loaded and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers up there is to join us on the How to Trade show during the midday and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to be a subscriber in order to engage with us in the chat. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here's a look at the triple Qs, and we're almost at the high of the day. Believe it or not, the NQ is actually the worst performing of the 4 major averages, with the ES up 0.8. The NQ a little at that 2/3 of a percentage point. The Dow up over 1%. And the Russell 2000, the best performing of the 4 major averages, up 1.2. Here's a look at the first ticker, though. As decided by you guys, Nvidia still in negative territory. It's down 1.85%, a little bit off the lows. And despite the fact that it's got the GTC conference today, and we're all listening for that B300. The B200 is Blackwell. We want to hear about their next gen AI chip slated to be released in 26 and 27, guys.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I'll just take it here. Nvidia is my number 2 stock today, and it's just following the rules. There's 120 long. We knew GTC was today. We thought there were some good opportunities for it to go upside. Stock tended to disagree with us. So we are just hit it and quit it, and it's going to be your number 2 stock. Number 1 will be the Qs. But right into there, there's $20 long, 120. There's a couple outs, 121. Our best outs, 121.50. It comes back in, we tried it again, and then we're out. And that's that. It hasn't taken 120 since. If and when it does, I think we'll push the long, but it's got to go. Got to get back to VWAP. That's where 120 is right now. It has never seen VWAP all day. So no VWAP all day for Nvidia. Kind of disappointing, obviously. I would have liked to see it rally a little bit today. It's a name that I'm juiced up in, and I like it. We'll see if it breaks 120 long. That's the trade for me for Nvidia. It goes down to 118. I don't know. I'm not dip buying anything on weakness, really. So I'm going to wait to see what happens with Nvidia. I'll talk about why I'm in Palantir after, but for right now, yeah, it's still got to break that 120. Look, we wrote it down. It was a key level. If we take it upside, we can go long. So I'm surprised, right? I mean, NASDAQ at high of day, NASDAQ up 0.71. I don't remember the last time we actually, I mean, I'm sure it's happened. I can just chart it. But the last time there was this much discrepancy where the NASDAQ feels bullish and Nvidia really feeling bearish on no, truly negative catalysts.
All the news is all I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about this one. So Yeah, back over to you. I'm just chilling out with Nvidia right now.
I think I got it on.
There goes Palantir.
On a personal account, I either got it on Monday or Tuesday. I keep forgetting. I don't remember which day it filled. It was one of the 2 days, but it looked like it was super strong. It seems like it's just a sell the news event. I was just thinking pull back into prior high, and if it loses that, I don't want to fight it. And that was one for me. That was at 122 level. It did battle, and as Sean said, it bounced. Got to VWAP, and that was like the first VWAP test after the open because it was above VWAP in the pre-market, and it's just been down ever since. So if this pulls in, I think I'm making the decision here. If we can take out like the quarters and start getting maybe even like the 40s and 50s, I think it's another long if it gets above the volume-weighted average price. Otherwise, the market's breaking out the highs and continuing to go. If it reverts even a little bit and Nvidia is underneath this 120 in VWAP, then I think it's a short at that price. We get to talk Intel again. It's the same order as the morning. So start with Nvidia and then go into some Intel, which, if you add on your bingo card, Nvidia down 2% and Intel up 5%, congratulations. I don't think many people were seeing that. But Intel they've got themselves a CEO. Let's get more to the story with Sharif.
A great day for Intel, Neil. Good segue there. Higher lows with that flat top coming in. Great looking chart pattern, very bull flaggish. Trading higher today after Reuters reported that new CEO Lip-Bu Tan plans to overhaul the chip design and manufacturing, as well as restart their AI efforts and examine further cost cuts. Guys, it looks as if, sadly, there are some layoffs on the horizon.
All right.
Yeah, you don't want to cheer layoffs, but Intel, they got to make. They're trying to make some changes. Obviously, that's a good thing. I think this is, par for the course. Get a new CEO, come in there, decide what the direction is going to be. So I'm short-term bullish on Intel, especially at least until it gets back to this $28 level here for Intel. So it held the 200 period. You broke it out today. It was a good long off 25. It wasn't. I had a bad out off VWAP, but it's just been trending. I want to look to get back in the long next available dip on Intel. I said up 5%, but it's up 8% today. So super strong day for them. Anybody that short this locally is running into some trouble. And I think until you get to these high 20s up in here at that 28 level, just look for it to continue that trend into the top. So good look for Intel on good volume, Rand. You don't think it's going to get there?
Intel 28? No, I'm trying to sell it immediately right now.
Short-term low.
All right, if you win again, there's going to be a problem.
Okay, first of all, Randy's winning. Randy doesn't lose at roll up the rim.
Right over here, man. It's over here.
Use that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. We'll use it tomorrow. We'll have it. Rain and I connected outside.
Now you have to chug this so we can actually see.
No. He'll be done that soon. He's already halfway.
The week-long vacations. Yeah, but where are those week-long vacations?
Yeah. All right. So just really quickly here, Palantir. We're really happy about this one, man. We reversed that position, and there it goes, right up there to the upside, 87.40 for PLTR. And just to show you guys, we're starting to get out. This 87.40, that's basic. It's 87.50, but it's actually 87.40. There's that dropout right there, right? So, as Kanye would say, the college dropout. But we're not allowed to talk too much about Kanye, I don't think, anymore. That guy.
Nobody talks about Kanye.
Yeah, no one talks about Kanye anymore. But for good reasons, for sure. The guy's dropping clothing lines that are littered with swastikas. So, I'm not sure what exactly that dude's all up to. But there it is right now. All right, so Palantir right there, 87.50. All right, look, we were going long on Intel all day. It's just, we weren't looking at it early enough, and we should have been. We had talked about that VWAP right there. We should have hit it again. I think the trade's pretty easy. It's just I wasn't on it, and it's looking like it wants to break higher. It's just at 215 right now. I'm not sure it's the right play to break out right now. I know we're in Palantir, and I just tried to explain that a little bit why I think it's different. But I like it. I think Randy's probably right. Look, there's a hell of a lot of bag holders on Intel. I mean, it looks a lot, it's like AMD and things like that had these huge highs. Will Intel get to $50 again? Yeah, probably. It's just a matter of when. And if you have the time frame, maybe you just wait out for it. I don't know if I have 1,000 shares. I'm not sure what I have, but I'm going to get out of half of this at 28, play with house money, and then let it go higher. So that's my play there on Intel. Similar to what we've been doing on everything, try to play with house money. So I really like Intel there, up 8%. Let's see if we can get to that 27, 27.50 and get out of half.
Let Intel eat.
What food? Oh,
He's crushing it, man.
right there. Joe's killing it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. How was it? How was it?
You think?
Did you have it today? Why? Too spicy for you?
Then you know it's good. Oh, you know it's good. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, now I'm going to go get a piece of chicken very soon. And live on the air, you're going to see this white guy have some nice hot jerk chicken food.
But you can eat the jerk.
I hope so. I'm surprised it's Chilean Nightmare.
Oh, come on, man.
What about Brendo? I mean, Brendo over there.
Brendan probably ate it.
He probably got the lame-ass salmon again.
It's fine.
All right, I'll be, after this rundown, I'm going to go.
How many chilies did you do?
I'm going right now.
At Salad King, how many chilies do you do?
Don't worry about it.
You're doing it live.
We're doing it live. I'm going to go to the other side.
No, the other side has plenty. By the way, guys, the market just made another leg here to the fresh highs. 1% on the NASDAQ, sorry, on the ES, and we're flying to the upside right now. He doesn't believe it. There's none left on this side. You gotta go to the other side. So the trading floor, then the back office has like a separate kitchen where there's like more lunch, and there's never anybody in the back office. Well, there's always more food than you actually have. Like here, it actually gets eaten because you have the algo room, and then you got us. But on the other side, there's always a bunch of chicken left over. There's no way it's that hot. I don't believe what Fabian said in a heart. Like, if it's a caterer that has to come to an office, they're not going to make the jerk chicken so hot that an average person can't eat it. Let's be real. But the market certainly is hot, and we just talked Intel. I mean, Intel is not really doing anything in this move. The big move just now was Nvidia. Nvidia just pressed into that 120 and is absolutely flying to the upside as we speak. Like ES 1% and going. There really is none left. I thought for sure the other side, because there's not that many people here today. That doesn't make any sense.
All good, Fabian.
Wow.
Get it next time.
Stung?
Yeah, there's no more left. Yeah, I went all the way to the other side. There's no more left.
Usually there's tons
well,
left.
Palantir's still going higher.
Oh, well.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla, ouch.
You know, I asked Obi. So Obi, I actually, have some respect for his palate. Obi said it was a little spicy. So was it spicy at all? Yeah, a little spicy. Okay, so both Joe, I mean, obviously Neil didn't have any, or I'd ask him, but Joe and Obi said a slight kick.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Dara couldn't eat it then.
All right, I might. We'll get it all figured out. Next time there's jerk chicken, we'll take a little piece. We get it mailed every day, so we'll be able to find out this and then swoop in there and take advantage of that. So.
Oh.
All right, I got to fix my AirPod, but okay, let's go back over Tesla. Ouch.
I guess.
Yeah, it's not a good look, Katina, man. I mean, the market's up. All four major averages are over 1%. And Tesla, yeah, it's down 4.5%. Mizuho today definitely not giving Tesla the nod, cutting the price target down from 515 to 430. Additionally, reports of declining sales in various regions, China and Europe specifically, guys, are affecting this stock negatively and have been for the last few weeks.
I mean, Joe's almost done that whole plate. Right now. You know what I mean? Like now I think this is like, all right, let's get back on track here. All right, so Tesla. You know what? I actually didn't even look at it today. Joe, man, I got to hear less noise from over there. All right, so.
You're allowed to chew your food, by the way.
What are we doing? Okay.
Not against the rules.
Yeah, Tesla.
You think? He's like, I'm a fast eater.
Why is Joe still talking? Like, I mean, the thing is.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. I really like Joe. Okay, so at the end of the day, I don't know where Tesla's going to stop. I mean, if you're going to be looking for some moves here, we actually came right back into where we were on the 13th on Thursday, right back in here to 230, 232. So, I mean, if you really do zoom back out, I feel like this 230 is a spot for sure. Well, maybe not even. Like, I don't know, when it goes, man, it just drops. We've seen Tesla right off the open do moves like this all the time. And there it is, right? Here's the open, and it just got going right down there, right down $6. A complete retracement of all $6. And right now you're hovering around VWAP. To me, it looks like a short, but I'm trying to get out some more here. We just had $1 in the money on Palantir before now, trying to fade back a little bit. So I'm going to get some more out over here. But yeah, Tesla, the weakest of the week. Like if we start to think that the market, weakest of the Mag 7, if we think that the market's going to be turned around one day, we should just be honestly just like right over there on Tesla. It doesn't seem like it wants to get going at all. That's still Palantir. But down 4.5%. I mean, if you're going to go long, you can go now. You're above VWAP, you're above the 50, and you're above the 200. I would just make sure to use this 200 as our stop, 235. So you got to give it $3. I don't know if it has $3 to get back up here. Looks to me like a short around 244. I'm going to leave it alone. Like, whenever you don't get a good read on something, it's kind of like my whole day basically is like, we'd be up, like Palantir, I have like 2 times the loss on. And it's just because got caught there, got caught short there, got caught long, not a good read, finally flipped it over. So for me on Tesla, I haven't traded it today, probably stay away. To me, it looks like a long because we're above all these levels, but down 5%, hard to convince ourselves of the long for right now.
I mean, with the market breaking out the way it is, if it holds VWAP, I can't think short unless it is up at that high from the morning. But this was the best opportunity for me because I actually liked the short on Tesla today and didn't get it. And when it was putting in higher lows, I was more thinking about, instead of thinking fade this back in, I was thinking get into Intel long because it's strong. And that was a missed opportunity on Tesla. I don't think it's necessarily done. The problem with Tesla right now is still fundamentals out the window. It's the whole Elon hate thing is going on with this, and you can't really tell. Even on a strong, even when it has a good day, there hasn't been any fall through. Like, you get a bounce off the lows, you find one resistance spot at 52, and then it just can't bust through it, no matter what. And this is the same thing that happened when it tried to get back above like 360, like $100 ago. It did the same thing. Looked like it was bouncing, found first resistance, and then dropped. So until it does one of these and breaks out and holds above, I think it's still kind of in the penalty box. Hopefully 220s hold, but the thing about the long term is you don't have to worry about it. You know, does it go right away after you buy it? In the long term, you shouldn't care too much. I think this is still a solid value as long as nothing fundamentally changes. I'm starting to like the value a heck of a lot more. Recently bought 222, but unless we see a real strong push into a resistance spot and the futures turn around, I wouldn't be fighting this. This looks like it could be long off VWAP, but Nvidia's there too. And people don't hate Nvidia. At least I don't think they don't. I think they don't hate Nvidia. I'd rather see this hold on to VWAP or find a re-entry into Intel than try to force Tesla.
A lot of finger pointing at Apple at the moment right now, guys, with the botched AI rollout there being blamed on aggressive marketing when there was really no substance behind the product. And that will be the topic of discussion here at the top 100 executive retreat for Apple executives, obviously, which starts this week. Tim Cook and others going to be there. We'll have to wait and see if they have any news items that come out about the release of Apple Intelligence. But yeah, decent day for Apple today, up about 0.5%.
Yeah, you just got to blame it on the rain, you know.
That was fall and fall.
Because when the rain don't shine, you know, you got to blame it on something. Wow.
Whatever you do, don't put the blame on you. This is the best looking 0.5% I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I should not ever, but like, this is what 0.5% needs to look like. Because how can it be impressive? Well, it could have gone all the way red and down a point and then right back into the highs. I thought you could stick a fork in some of these mag names, but Apple, I mean, how could you not be at least considering? Breakouts in the afternoon are so iffy.
Iffy? Yeah.
Is that, iffy's not the right word.
Sketchy.
Yeah, skittish, sketchy.
I think they're all the same. They're all the same word, but yeah, I'll give it to you.
I like sketchy. But 215, it's like questionable, mediocre,
risky.
But 215 looks pretty good, man. It's a V-shape from today. It's kind of like a rounded bottom from Thursday and Friday, and with a top break of 215 almost clean, and it's like 50 cents away from that. It's a morning high. Oops, was it not on this chart? Yeah, so it's like the morning high. I think you got some room. You got a clear runway to like $17.
Ooh.
So that's like $2 worth of room here on an impressive rally for Apple. But you know what I always say? If you see a trend like this, you'd rather buy the dip before it gets there. And you can think when it's here that you're going to get VWAP, but you can't be thinking that anymore. So morning range top was 214. Next dip into 214. Hopefully it hasn't broken the 15 by then. But Apple, yeah, it's interesting that we have the Apple sucks when very clearly it's very impressive.
Okay. Yeah, no, Apple. I mean, I wish we had the dollar club there on Apple, but we do have it smooth sailing on Palantir right now, 87.50. We flip up our game and just go long. Look, have this in your toolbox. right? Like we were going short against this high. The minute it broke, we just went long, completely reversed it. This has like been sort of a save for me on Palantir as we have not traded this that well. Look, I love Apple, honestly. I think like, I was actually just talking with my Volkswagen guy and he was asking me about the market. Another story there. He immediately goes from these stocks right into crypto. But there it is, man. 80, and he's the finance guy, believe it or not, the manager over there. 215 right there for Apple. Neil just talked about it. On the 5-minute chart, I mean, there is not a red candle since 120, so about an hour straight up here. So yeah, 20 or so green straight candles, 15 or so green straight candles to the upside. Let's wait to see what winds up happening, man. I mean, I like the stock. I don't know what just got under it, but something did. Good bid, I guess. And you know what? At some point, a lot of these names are going to be oversold and overbought. And right here, oversold on the daily, I would think that's correct. But overbought right now, yeah, the RSI has been screaming up here, trying to tell us that maybe it is a little bit too hot. So look, man, like this stock, like everything about it, but at the same time, it hasn't really been treated that well, but it has been this afternoon. Look at Apple go. Yeah, I always think they're going to, beat all the numbers. We did have that Ming-Chi Kuo. Yeah, talk last week a little bit more about some supply chains and stuff like that. So we'll just wait to see what winds up happening here with Apple. You gotta respect this high, and if you're going to go short right now, you give yourself 40 cents. I think it's worth it. If there's anything that comes negative in this market, the market's rallying, man. You're up 1% right now. Remember when we started, we're like, no, we are out of the shorts. We got out of our TQQ short right there. You break VWAP, see you later. Obviously, hindsight, we should have reversed that position. We did it on Palantir, and now Palantir's a banger as we're $1.20 in the money. But yeah, big reversal there in the market. You see what I'm talking about? Me and Obi last week said we're not trying to fight VWAP in the afternoon. And look at this. Like, it just got taken out, man. The market was underneath VWAP all day until it wasn't. And that's the biggest move it's had. So, yeah, congratulations, anybody shorting this thing. Going long off of VWAP.
Hopefully.
I got confused there because I was short under VWAP. TQs is my #1 stock from going long, dropped out there. Short, that we never lost on that. Then short again there, and then we finally lost on our last, I don't even know what it was, probably 25%. So, but it's not even really a loss. It's probably 10 cents. But okay, that's Apple. And the reason why we talk about the market with Apple is sometimes they're hand in hand. As you can see, the market edging up, as is Apple. So, all right, another stock here. This is my other red one today.
About to get there.
And Amazon, I was thinking green on it.
I mean, it's green right now, Sean, up 0.2, but the reason I put weak or strong is because when I put this on there, we were dead flat. So Amazon trying to decide whether it wants to go red or green. We're still obviously below that $200 Bezos shelf. There is really no new catalyst on it today, no major headline. We're trading right now below 199, guys, but on its way up possibly into those highest of days.
We wrote down Amazon on here. Because we had that retail number, but I guess it came out a little bit weaker. Although I thought it came out as expected. I'll have to double check what exactly it came out as. So we just wrote down 197 long. So we're barely red. Well, we are red on it. It's not that we're barely red. We're red on it. Well, we're only down $100 on it. But at the end of the day, this little drop down right there, it was fine. We didn't make money until 197. That is the exact price that we wrote down on here. So, like, if we had just been patient enough, you never know where the market's going, which is, the #1 problem that I have. Like, I wish I could tell you. But, like, I thought it was going to bounce there at 197. It's not even close. It did consolidate a little bit there, and I'm really actually quite proud of myself not to get back in because we could have made a huge mess of this. We can write down 194 maybe as a possibility for tomorrow. I don't know if we'll get back into there. Look, I mean, I like Amazon. We misplayed it today. I don't really know what else to say. That gap fill, I guess we could have gone back to Friday's open. I don't really know, though. Like, that to me seems too difficult down there. But look at that, man, 194.50. If you were sitting on Amazon and you noticed it, I definitely think you would have hit that trade. So congratulations. I think you're up near the top again of Amazon. I was going to write down earlier today when we started this day around $200. This is why I took the long at 197. I thought this 202.50 was going to come into play at some point. This is my favorite Mag 7. So, you know, like I said, man, the packages keep arriving, and I want to keep buying the stock. So, I don't know, man. This 200 break seems good to me. I may buy some. I mean, it's only down 20%. Oh, not even. Yeah, 240 drop down. No, not even. So, like 13%. I don't know. I've tried to use this ruler, but I don't know. I don't think this ruler works. Does it? There. What does that show? Oh, yeah.
It was
it's working in this version.
At one point.
16%.
Oh, this tool?
Does that make sense? Yeah. What do you have on there? What version are you in? Oh, just end. Just end it. You got to, yeah, just close it. There.
Yeah, it works. This says 16.41.
Yeah,
I didn't draw that.
No, me neither. Mine's 16.38. I didn't expect it to work, so I roughly drew it there.
Yeah, it's the new.
Are you in Upana?
Yeah, if you're.
I've never used it.
If you're with Real Trading, shout out to Real Trading, which happens to be. I didn't know that was going to come up there. No, but just a new tool, I think.
No, it's not new.
Well, relatively.
No.
But I've never
bothered to use it.
No, but I've accidentally drawn on this before, and nothing showed up until this version. So I don't know if
I don't think it's new, but like I saw Joe doing it, Obi doing it.
It just makes it easy.
Yeah, on TradingView. So I was like going to do it on eSignal, but then I just noticed that you can do it right here.
Yeah, so I can be like, Apple is, and you don't have to do it on a daily chart. I mean, you could do this from like.
Where's that the more you know thing, Ramin? This is very, very important.
You're like, oh, hey, let's look at this. Apple.
There we go. Thank you, Ramin. The best.
Look at that, Apple. 96 bars.
Look at that, America.
High, low, all that stuff. I like it.
Hey.
Look at me, America. How do I get rid of it, though?
Is it Stacy? Well, I know how to get rid of it. I think you got to hit delete. See if that works. There you go.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, no. Oops. All right. Welcome to The More You Don't Know, brought to you by Neil and Sean.
No, I just clicked away from it and it worked.
Might have. Oh, okay. There you go.
All right.
All right. All right. Go ahead.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, it was, you know what, the only thing
I just work here.
The only thing I have to add with Amazon is it's like the 200 period is $200 right now. Oh yeah, my Unity's working now. Remain, I'm good now. My earpiece is working. But $200 is also the 200 SMA, simple moving average on the daily chart. So I like it. Like I think you break that out. To me, Apple getting to 215 is more likely than Amazon getting to 200 this afternoon, because Amazon's at 198, so it's got a ways to go. But that seems like a good breakout, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't like that tomorrow. But the first available dip just happened on said Apple. Well, on Apple, I shouldn't say said Apple because we were just talking about Amazon. And if it gets into 215, I think we'll look to add on some kind of a break. Apple is strong today, and it's not about the percentage up so much as it is the move that we have just seen. Right? Like, I understand it's only up 0.5%, but come on, like, that's a big power move and a reversal. It's the same thing as, well, Palantir was up a second ago on your chart.
Palantir's
it's the same thing as Palantir. Like, it's not the percentage, it's what it was doing earlier versus the ramp job and lack of red candles in the afternoon. And those are the ones you don't want to fight. Just try to join the trend when you can. And we got a super chat in here from one I have not seen in a while. Kuhn. What? Can you, Kunezra?
Okay.
Kunazara?
Kunazara. Sick name.
Kunazara. Can you look at GME? First of all, hit the like on that. I have no idea what I'm going to find when I pull up GME because I have not pulled up that stock. When going over names after I've been away for a week.
Yeah, dangerous.
GameStop was not remotely on a list of names that I was interested in looking at or catching up on. So it's up 2.5 points, but yeah, it's not huge. Percentage-wise, usually when GME is going, you'll get more than 2.5 points, but like everything else, rounded bottom, kind of breaking this local high. And what's with the buy programs everywhere? Like this looks like it has a little bit of a buy program up top. If it's just doing the same thing as the market without a catalyst, I'd be a little bit wary of it because it's GameStop and the volume is pretty low. Like look at the volume on GameStop relative to all the other days last week. I don't like these types of names, like your squeeze names, your short float names. I don't like them breaking out on lower than normal volume. I think that's a bit of a trap setup, but congratulations if you happen to be in this long for some reason, because obviously, like much of everything else, it's doing some nice things with all that buying this afternoon. Yeah, so far so good. can't complain. When you can't complain when the Nasdaq's up 1%.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The idea was, okay, well, are we going to hold some of those bottoms? That bounce that you got on Friday, was that going to be a dead cat bounce? Or did we sustain it? Looked like that was not going to be sustained this morning. And for now, things looking good.
Yeah, good.
Scalp some more out here.
Yeah,
You did we were shooting some videos, like reaction stuff. I guess they'll come out on socials recently, and we're watching other people talk about finance and.
Oh no, I didn't do.
TikTok
They didn't get me on that.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, how come I didn't do any reaction videos?
I watched some interesting videos of other people on TikTok, which is interesting. And I'm gonna leave it at that because like 80% of them were nonsensical. But one of them talked about scalping and sort of the difference between scalping and trend trading. And scalping is when you're inside of a range, you get in and out inside of the range. Obviously, as you can tell, Apple's trend is up. But inside of the top end of the range, here is 214.35, and the high is 214.74. You got a 40-cent range. You're scalping in and out of that range. If it bounces off the bottom, you get in long again. Obviously, you could also just hold the trend for it to go forever. But when you're in it at the range pullback, you scalp out so that if it breaks that low, you don't lose. So just a bit of a difference. And yeah, there's more than one way to, what's the term they say, skin a cat?
Yes.
I never understand where they get these from because.
Yeah, I don't really like that one.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, because I thought about it, there's not that many ways to skin a cat. That's the thing.
Well, exactly. Like would. It's no, but why would you? It's just mean. You're not eating cats. And B, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
I can't imagine there'd be another way to do it. I could be wrong about that.
I love cats. All right. So. Oh, how about this? Quantum. I mean, QBTS. I don't know. We'll get some. I was waiting here on QBTS at. I was waiting at 32s there. All right, I'm going to get canceled. We just got that fill right there. Again, just waiting on either dark pools or free gateways. You can get anything you want here on Edge A or Bat Y. So I think I'm not sure what we threw out, probably a Bat Y right there to get some out there at 20s. So we'll take that fill right there and run for the hills maybe on that one and just see where we can go from there. So good little fill on Quantum. Again, we had talked about this. We had wrote this down at 10. I mean, you guys can go find it. It's on sticky note. It's well documented. 10.50 we wrote down. The bottom today was 10.20. You know, would have been nice to have that, especially when you see these triple bottoms. I feel like missing opportunity was right here though when it came back to 10.50 because that's the price that we're in at. We should have averaged in more there. I'm only trying to hold it 25 cents. So, you know, the fact that right now we're in the money 60, we'll just take another piece out. Small piece left on QBTS, or I'd be a little more concerned about it. Wow, short Ford. Ford's at $10.
Isn't it always at $10?
I don't know. I'm surprised it's that high. All right, $9.99. All right, we can have a quick look. So what I do instantly when I'm seeing something like this, obviously Ford up 2%. I know macro-wise, I guess. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I know I don't like the auto business. I don't even like Tesla down here. I think there's a lot more to go as far as the downside in all these companies. I mean, especially with aluminum prices and steel prices and tariffs and all of that right there. So I don't love this, but at the end of the day, $10 might be a great break. The last time we had broke it, it actually only went to 10.03, so it wasn't that great. There's a wick high to 10.12. I almost think, I'm not sure who asked that. Yeah, no, day trader cut it. I think it's been here for I can show you the weekly chart. I think you're at, this and Intel are at the same levels in the 90s than where we're at right now. But right here, $10.50. I'd rather clear that than you can use the 10 as you're out. For right now, I don't, unless you guys know more than I do, what you all do. But as far as this stock is concerned, I don't love it. I mean, I know GM's operating, Mary Barra there is operating a much cleaner game with GM. So I don't know. Even she has stated that, and this was a while ago, when we're talking about these tariffs, that she thinks that they can avoid, I think it was 40 to 50% or so of the tariffs. So we'll wait to see. But at the end of the day, I can probably call up a weekly chart of GM. I'm not sure how much better this is than the 90s either, but at the end of the day, GM down here at 50 bucks isn't the greatest. So I'd rather just see all of this garbage cleared out. So that means we got to break above this $50, $51 mark. So I think you're getting pretty close, man. Like, if you like the space, like the space. Like, again, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean, it's honest.
GM, you got to, if you're comparing these, if you just look at it from COVID, GM's just easily better than Ford. It's just a performance thing. At the end of the day, like if you look at the weekly, I'm not going to pull it all the way back to the 90s, but look at the COVID bottom and Ford since then, like this price, forget about the 90s, you can call it since like 2021's been support right around 10 bucks, but GM on the other hand, when you throw up a weekly chart, it's just distinctly different. It's performed, it made a similar low at like 32 and is now at 49. So like the same type of bottom on the weekly for a year and a half as Ford did, but Ford's at that same price and GM is 50% higher. So I mean, I know which one I would be buying on dips. The answer, I mean, I don't own either stock. I have owned Ford. I traded off that $11 level right around that price for a couple of swing trades here and there. And I owned GM once for wasn't very long. And I'm not in either one of them. The only auto name that I own right now is Tesla, and I have been in Rivian and out. But outside of that, I try to stay away. As far as trading it for the scalp trade, if you're doing that game, $10 doesn't have any ridiculous size on it. Like it's maybe like 250,000 shares. It's done 74 million. I'd be more inclined to think, yeah, short it at 10 if I saw a big wall there, and just let it get to 99 and grab some 99 halves and then scalp it. But there's nothing interesting about that level currently.
Yeah, no, that's why I zoomed back out and tried to figure out if that was any size there at 10 bucks. So, all right, I just want to show you guys quantum again. So we got out at 20s. I just wanted to show you that like right now, there is some decent size here stacked a little bit. So here's the stacks. Stacked up a little bit at 25. So QBTS could run itself right into a wall here. I don't think it will. I mean, 165 million shares doesn't necessarily give me an idea that this is going to have a problem hitting out of 50,000, 20. That's like 100,000 shares. There it goes right there. Running into another wall at 30. This stock wants to go higher. So we're glad to be in this one as it continues to do exactly that. Go a little bit higher. We can see what we can test. Last week, I mean, we put out on our on Twitter there, like, someone asked me about QBTS, can it get to all-time highs? I said no, and then on Friday, once it got into that 1050 area, you and I and everybody out there that's part of Trader Nation, we had talked about this, and it looked like 1150 was coming through, and that's exactly what's hitting right now. 1150 is that wick high. Did we get as high as 12 bucks earlier today? Yes, we did in the pre-market. Now remember, these things can move a heck of a lot in the pre-market. We've seen that over and over again, and then real size comes in and smacks it down and takes advantage of us without proper stops and all that in the pre-markets. So I just want to always bring that to people's attention, which is why we wrote down today, despite it opening at, again, like, when we wrote the sticky note, it was up here 1160, 1150. Well, we had the balls enough to write down here where this stock I thought it was going, and that's down here, QBTS 1050 long. So like we wrote that down when it was at 1150, so the fact that it came, oh wow, here we go. Sirens up. I mean, yeah, man, wheels up right now. That's a huge trade right here. We're almost $1 in on this stock, QBTS. And again, it was just picking the levels, right? We went over to where we closed on Friday. We saw this 1050. Well, I mean, the level's 1020, but we have to get out at some point. So we put that level there. We take the fill. It comes in. First, we bought 1080. Thought it was pretty dramatic. Then 1050. Holds that bottom. My stop was at my stop is probably still in, I can tell you, breaking 10 bucks. So we're going to wait for this thing to break 10 bucks, get a little aggressive with it. And right now you can see kind of pay dirt for us on QBTS. So yeah, man, good trading. Nothing to complain about here. And yeah, I mean, to say we like the stock, I think is misnomer, because I know Sharif on the midday was really trading this. I don't know if he was on Rigetti or not, but QBTS.
I think it was Rigetti.
Yeah, it continues to
same
work.
Thing.
IonQ. So again, they were all going opposite a little bit at the beginning of the day, right? When we saw, yeah, so still same thing. QBTS up nicely, IonQ flat on the day, essentially up 0.5%, and this looks pretty choppy to me, man. I'm going to try to stay away from here. A couple V-shaped recoveries right there. Top side of 25.50. I like to see that break. I don't really want to mess around with too many stocks that are in between anything right now. Like, we did that with Palantir, but the thing about Palantir is it broke. And by the way, Palantir, let's roll right now, man. That is another. And we do have a couple diamond hands. And where's Ozan? All right, so we just reversed it, man. We were short. And again, I always say this, have that ability. You know, we talk about confidence and all that, but sometimes you got to give up the way that you're thinking and go the other way. We tried to do it here and then run over. I need one where it's like me just getting. We used to have one getting run over by a train.
No,
I don't know
100%
where those are at, but we got train wrecked right there.
It was a bus. It was a bus.
What was that? Oh, they got train wrecked. All those ones got railroaded. Apparently, says.
There's which one is it? There's this one, which.
Oh yeah. We have the face slap.
Well, where's the other slap one? No, you got to see the other slap one. I'll find it in a second.
Oh, I have the other one where my watch keeps flipping.
No, because it was really bad. It was hilariously bad. This is it, I think. Look at this one. It's like as I'm getting slapped, I get a tan.
That's actually one of my favorite ones. Kind of, yeah. I thought there was a better one for the tan one there.
Come on, man.
And
that's the new one.
I have no idea where my slap.
No, those are like.
How could she slap?
3 old. How can she slap me?
Yeah, oopsies. I don't have anything on there.
Oh, we got a super chat from Chet GPT. You rode the SPY 569 from 0.09 to 0.8 today. The bulls are bold. The bulls are back. Okay, no little typos, all good. Bulls are back, baby. We're up 1%. The Nasdaq doesn't have. Okay, actually, there is a red candle on the 15-minute. Hold on a second. I was about to say the Nasdaq doesn't have a red candle since 1 o'clock, but this is a red candle right here on the 15-minute. You can barely see it, but now you're absolutely screaming back into the highs. Find something strong, try to ride the trend if you can, because that's what it's all about. I saw some people asking about HIMS, but just quickly, Apple came right back into the local bottom here, held it, and is running back to the high. I want to cover in front of 15, take a 15 breakout. I seen app loving in HIMS. Sorry, apps and HIMS have both been moving. HIMS was a congressperson buying HIMS again. Because the only reason the stock goes up is when a politician buys it, I suppose, is the story. But yeah, there was Adara mentioning here that the congressman made purchases between 15 to 50K and another one 100 to 250K in 2 separate purchases. So it's up 7%. This one's catching a bit of a bid. It squeezes every now and then. I can see that happening soon for HIMS. Good start. But I mean, the stock is down 50% in the last month. So, yeah, 7% is good, but it's not that good.
A lot of people like that stock. I got to do some more research on it. There's a lot of positive talk about HIMS.
I like Lilly though, and I'm kind of
Steve Gilligan. Anybody that follows Martin Shkreli because of his
likes HIMS?
Yeah, no, he hated. He had $0 price tags on all these quantum stocks.
But that's different. He's pharma guy.
That's what I'm saying. Anybody that follows those kind of plays. I mean, look, obviously analyzing balance sheets and all that is one thing, but to have an opinion on something, I just think it's so important to have your own opinions, and I know obviously a lot of you do. So just stay with that. Stay with Trader TV Live. No, just joking. We don't really talk about too many of our long-term investments. I've just been. Oh, let me see what JP Morgan's doing. This is the latest. JP? Oh yeah. I actually bought way too much of this, so I was actually planning on selling some. I bought it.
JP Morgan.
Yeah. I bought it in. I bought it in Canada, and I think I was long at $30 and $30.06. So right now. Funny that's in the money $1. Look at the volume, man, 75K, so not great, but you could see here up 1.07%, and then in the United States 1.18%. So again, this gets dollar cost averaged out, and at the end of the day, you'll get a hedged CAD number. So they do hedge against the CAD, so that's why it's a little bit intraday. Sometimes it could be different, and then as you see though, one more print, and you'll probably see it was just up a little bit, 1 cent higher. Gives that. But this is JPMCC, so you could definitely have a look over there if that's something that you guys are interested in. I like JP Morgan.
It's much better than JT Marlin.
Well, JT Marlin is a little bit better of a more exciting of a place to work.
Well, true.
You get to throw things.
You don't want the FBI
throw people at
raiding your place.
Targets.
Was it?
fun in elevators. I don't know. There's a whole bunch. I mean, I'm gonna watch that movie again, Boiler Room. If anyone's,
I can't.
you know, that's where Josh Brown, all these scam artists, basically. I like Josh Brown, but they all started selling this and basically taking money from various old people.
True story. I'm not making this up. I remember it was years ago when I started trading. Sean had already started on the floor, and we were all out watching the Leafs in the playoffs or something. And we're just sort of shooting the you-know-what with shoot the ish with the boys. And everyone started talking about what they were doing. And he was talking about the trading floor. And I'm not going to lie, when you first described it, my first image was Boiler Room.
Yeah, of course.
Like, because you don't know.
What it looks like.
Because it's, the guys trading on. So I'm thinking when I came for the league, you'd be on the phone and all this nonsense. And when I found out you don't have to sit there and sell. It's actually really just trading. I was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I was just curious. It was legit. Although I do remember the first time when we had our own floor, and you did have to call the trade desk when
you had a bad order.
If you had bad orders, and like that was hands. I'm so glad we don't have to do that anymore. Because hands down the worst thing ever. Because you'd be sitting there when everybody, like say a certain gateway went down, you had a bunch of stuck orders that could get filled. And the last thing you wanted to have to do was talk to this person who's getting inundated with a bunch of issues and calls because they're so short with you. And you want to make sure you get your orders canceled or get confirmations on your fills. And this is all 15, 20 years ago. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's so much better. Because there were a few times where it's like, who do they have on the phone right now? They do realize that every second counts, and they don't even. I won't name any gateways.
No, it was not
Millennium.
the greatest system.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, the trade desk, TTD.
TTD's been on one. But Apple still might break out. Amazon's been making power moves. I know we've gotten a few questions about that. It's pulling back. With the market at highs, I'm a little disappointed. Amazon was trying to hold green. It looked like it could make a run at that 200 today. Doesn't seem like it wants to get there. Nvidia, super strong, man. Holding over VWAP, relatively strong now. It was weak earlier. Got to find a long week. Just got to find some more longs, man.
Yeah, that's back when the Leafs were in the playoffs. Yeah, that's hilarious. The Leafs have been in the playoffs the last 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just we've only made it out the first round once.
A good team.
Oh well, they'll get it back. We may lose Mitch Marner, which I'm fine with if we lose him in the after.
Can't keep everybody
in the off season. So hopefully we'll be able to sign somebody else.
Nylander's sick.
Yeah,
I'm not a hockey expert, obviously, but the guy's.
Which one?
Nylander's no.
Yeah, that guy's a
the thing is like to the naked, like if you're not a hockey person, which I'm not. Like when I can watch, and like if you didn't know anything and you don't know any names, you're like, ooh, that guy. Shoot. He's legit.
Yeah. I mean, again, from a kid, like he's a son, like same with Vlad, like his dad played in his brothers and all that kind of stuff. His brother was actually on the Leafs this year as well. So, okay, yeah. All right, that's what else you guys want to do here? Because the
trade desk, by the way, people could.
Oh, yeah. Did you look at that?
I did, but like it's got these weird volume spikes. I think they must be all like dark pool moves here for for the trade desk. It's only up 4%. I think it's more to do with the trend that it's been on to the downside, and it's trying to break that. I think this is more interesting if it breaks this big trend line for the next couple of days. Let's go to who had Dara at the desk.
Keep an eye on Amazon here. Just be aware, AMZN apparently winning the dismissal of its shareholder lawsuit related to the treatment of its third-party sellers. Apparently announced at the same time they're planning to expand their capacity. So capacity expansion announcement after winning this lawsuit for AMZN. Back to you.
Very good. That's up late. Thanks, Adara. We're just talking about our news service. All right, yeah, so I was just reading in the chat. It is kind of hard to find something that maybe hasn't sailed yet. That's why when we found this Palantir, we've just been sitting on this for about an hour, or a little bit less, but anyways, close enough. It's just like that broke VWAP and went, right? There was actually, what about Apple 215? That could have been a play, so it's not there yet.
Almost.
Nvidia's hitting on my scanners right now. We can, okay, yeah, so again, basically right back into this area. I don't know what kind of scanner it's hitting on, but what does it say, 5 minutes? Okay, so just having a look over here. Probably up to that 121 area. It doesn't really look like there's too much else going on. Oh, Google with a partnership now on Reddit. Like, all I can really do is talk about Reddit. Jeez. All right, whatever. What's up, Ozan? Look, we talked we talked about this earlier today. Which was the name that we wanted to buy? We talked about like trying to get some Reddit down here at this level and trying to get some Kava. If Kava has like an announcement now with Starbucks or something, I'm going to go crazy. But right there, Reddit, something with Google. Probably, I don't know the exact story. Obviously, Adara's going to get that for us right now. But it's probably something with, you know, AI, maybe related with Gemini possibly, or maybe as a news service, Google implementing Reddit maybe into their search a little bit more. I don't know what it is. I'm just throwing to the wind right now. So we'll wait to see, but there goes Reddit. And again, like, you know, not that you can't keep good stocks down, because I'm not sure that Reddit is the greatest stock, but you IPO'd here, and then let's use this thing that apparently is going to work now for us. This is not exact, but top to bottom right there, Reddit went 45%. Does that make sense? 230 to 110. Yeah, so there it goes. So 45% to the downside there for Reddit. I think there is some value there picking this up at these levels. So I just have to figure out how to get rid of this thing. And in the meantime, let's go to Adair, who's got the story.
Basically, what happened here is Reuters reporting, this actually came out 11 minutes ago, but it's only affected the stock in the last minute, and I did not see anything about this on social media until this pop. But Reuters reporting that Google is expanding its partnership with Reddit. This partnership was previously announced here as of at least a year ago, so it's been going on since about April 2024 from what I'm seeing. But apparently this expanded partnership is going to allow, as Sean actually alluded to, Reddit will be able to use Google's Vertex AI. So this is an AI-related partnership. Again, it's an expansion of an existing partnership, and funnily enough, it comes the same day that Reddit got a downgrade here from Redbird Atlantic. So RDDT popping to day's highs here around 135. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. And Reddit is, the volume is actually very legitimate right now here on Reddit.
Maybe that's
like
what we have to trade.
Like, it's looking like this is going to be like maybe the one this afternoon, because it's maintaining volume on the second bar on a 3-minute here. So let's see if it can hold. Quickly zoom out to look at the 15, because you have up top 136, which would represent last week's high, and then you have another lower high from, that'd be on Friday, at 130.80. So Friday's top 130.80, that's 130, call it 131. That's as good a place to look for dip. Prior high on a momentum trade. So if it can hold 131, VWAP's so far away you can't even think about that at this point. We're going to look for the 131 on some kind of a dip here on Reddit as it starts to calm down, but the volume's still through the roof on this. So AI partnership, partnering with Google is good. There's no question about it. And obviously everyone's doing the game here. You've got to be able to integrate AI at this particular point. Hopefully the juice that this market is trying to get back to the upside can give us that Discord IPO, because after getting Klarna, I guess I don't know if it's this week, but Klarna's coming to market soon, whether it's this week, this month. They're coming to market soon. They're going to price soon. I think Discord's the other one that we're probably a little bit more excited to see. I'll just speak for myself with that. I think Reddit is a good sympathy play on that day whenever it does happen. So we'll see if it pulls back in 131. Hasn't happened yet. It's been holding this 133. I don't want to chase up at these tops, but if it can close this bar holding 131, I think it can look good. Pitchbull said wicked pop top on SoFi. All right, I'm going to throw Reddit up over there and have a look at SoFi. SoFi.
Top? How much? What price?
Really?
13.
Oh, that's, I don't know. That's not really that crazy of a move there on SoFi. It's not a big top on the 15-minute either. I know you're looking at that little wick that it put in. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it as a big top there on SoFi. Because when SoFi reverts, it can be good. But good day for SoFi. Not as interesting. Reddit, the volume, much more interesting of a name here.
Yeah, we like that. And I'm just right now just trying to like, we got some out. So my best out on Palantir, I think was 88.06 actually. Wow. Actually better than I thought. 88.06 right there. And look, just so we're everyone's on the same page, like right into here, we're starting to get more out. We got our first little legs out, really like a lot out here at 87.40. Now we're just topping out at these levels, trying to hold for 88.50. My next offer is 88.30s. So, I mean, again, trying to think about getting back upside. We are now underneath $88. We're going to wait to see if Palantir can do that. I'm wondering now that we're into the hour of power. Power hour. That's good. Yeah, now that we're into power hour. Hey guys, now that we're into Power Hour, let's just wait to see what winds up happening now with this name, and that of course is going to be Palantir. I'm looking for the shorts now, I think, in the market. I would like to see us break back down below this level right there, 19. I mean, the fact that we almost got back to 20,000, I mean, wow on that one, first of all, like that's huge for the NASDAQ. We were talking about 19.6, 19.5, things like that coming into play. Wow for Palantir. And there it comes right back to 88. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We'll say, oh, Canada for that one, although Palantir, of course, is an American company. We'll drop down that money. And we don't need to tell it to do something, but let's do that anyways. All right, TQQs. Look, man, if we're going to look short, my number one P&L name, so fine going back to it. And if that level comes into play right there, I think that's going to be a good short. So 63.80, breaking down below 63.80, using basically 64 then as our out. Like, we've got to find good value in this play, and this is exactly right up my alley. And I think Joe said that, and he took it to heart, what I told him, and I heard him talking about this, what I told him when he was sitting in your desk, Neil, and I said, look, man, he has the right plays, just got to use more shares. And he had like a little personal experience, he was saying, walking along the beach there, Memoirs of Joe Wilson. And, you know, he really thought about that and said if he's ever going to do anything around here, he needs to up his shares. So this is the kind of play right here. If you guys are in the same boat as Joe and I, then you have to say to yourself, like, listen, this breakdown, if you like the short, if you use this, then you have an out here that's only 20 cents away. So this could be that trade again, that if you like it and you're thinking short, that this could be a trade that you can ramp up your share size, because if it breaks it and you're right, you could make your whole day, your whole week on this move down. And then if you're wrong, you lose 20 handles. So again, share size accordingly to where 20 handles doesn't smoke you, but you probably do have a good opportunity to make a little bit back here on that short, you know, if it's a trade that you like. I'm long, first of all, dollar in on QBTS right now as we just look at this trade, as you just continue to get higher here on QBTS. I'm looking at 11.80 past resistance, maybe as an out. And then Palantir's $1.50 in the money. We just got another out there, but again, looking for higher. So I'm going to think about this trade right there, man, 63.80. I'm going to think about it, and I would rather play the long, but this is a good, like, if you like the short, this isn't horrible. I'm not yet convinced that I want to go short here. And then even like we said, like, even if you take 200 shares or something like that, to lose 20 cents is fine. It's $40, but it's still $40. So I think no matter what your risk tolerance is, you have to go through these processes every single time to get that, right? And there it is right there, exponential bet sizing, exactly. So I don't even know what you said here, Day Trader Cup, but sizing up on those high quality setups, right? And I think that that's what you have to do. And we've talked about that with Obi and now Joe and myself. So I just think that these are some of the things that if you're thinking about going, it has to be set up properly. And this is getting close, man. I mean, this could really pay for that short, 63. I'll try it, but I'll probably only try it on maybe 1 or 2 units. But I don't know. Some of the work that I did too was try not to fight the trend in the after hours. Or in the after hours. I always call this in the afternoon, yeah. I think that's probably going to win. I don't think we'll go short there, but that's a good setup. And I mean, that's what we were trying to do earlier on the TQs right into here. When we were going long, trying to go long against, and a lot of shares, trying to go long against this pre-market bottom. And I mean, it just didn't work. And then shorting VWAP was great. Shorting VWAP was great again. And then out, like, these are the high quality. This is why the TQs will continue to probably be #1 on here for a while, because waiting for these nice setups, if you're patient enough to get it, great. We did not reverse that. And right now it might be looking like it's topped out, not only at 20,000, but also giving us some levels there. So I hope some of you liked that talk. And honestly, Reddit, Neil, I wish I read it and forgot it, but it's just straight upside there.
Yeah, there hasn't been a red candle.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to get into a firm, but
sure.
Back on Reddit, like, there hasn't even been a pullback. There hasn't been any kind of a red candle to work off of in the 3-minute. So, like, you can get into a long, obviously, and any long would have worked, but, like, where's the out going to be? I haven't been able to find one. And on news, I don't like buying tops. I always like buying the pullback, or, you know, shorting the pop, whatever you want to call it on a news story. I never want to buy those highs, but they're loving this story on Reddit. No questions asked. It's now up 7%. You can stick a fork in 131, at least temporarily, that prior high. Maybe like there would be if it does a dip, we still have an hour to go. Like you could still dip into like 35 or something before you get into 140. But this is getting a little bit parabolic. It was a firm I was looking at because, as you were saying, you can be fighting the trend. Well, the firm's down on the day, but it also broke the trend. It had a day-long trend from the bottom and then one from VWAP, which it's already broken and putting in another successive lower high. So from the top, lower high, second lower high after breaking the trend. I think that's a different setup for a reversion short. Like as it pops in here, if it can't take out 47.5, this is more like 47.60, which also happens to be the pre-market high here, coincidence. If it can't take that on this move up in the futures, that's a short that looks reasonable to me. But Reddit, you kidding me? What? Wasn't it just at 136?
Yeah, 137 when I turned. I'm still watching.
139.5. This is insane. Wow.
It's just these, and who was it that we had on?
It's completely parabolic now.
Oh man! Oh, Raider Trader. When we had just talked about some of the laggards in the market, which is what got me thinking about Reddit and Kava, two names that I really liked that were all the way down here, which were IPOs that I completely missed on. I didn't take any of them. And I was thinking like, okay, this is the name. Now it's up 10%. It was like Reddit and Kava were both names that had gotten beat up a little bit that I wasn't expecting Google. Like when you're getting these announcements, even though Adair had mentioned this was already predetermined and all that kind of stuff, but it looks like now getting something official on the board here. Any good news will really spark this kind of a rally. Obviously, we don't have that crystal ball to be able to predict those things. But like I said, if Kava can somehow turn it around as well, I don't know what it's up today, only up 3%, but this is another one of those drop downs where we said it was 48% or so for Reddit. For Kava, just its most recent, now I really like this tool, its most recent drop down, 40%. So again, so you just go like that, and I think you just go like that and get rid of it. So you just push that tool again.
Yeah, that's why I like this.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So that's another one there. HIMS is another stock. That's what I was saying. There's a lot of good things out there on HIMS as well, but Kava just continues to go upside here. Like when you get this kind of downside move, like is Trump like tariffing euros or something, or like souvlakis? Like I'm not sure what's going on there with Kava. I'm just talking tongue in cheek, obviously, as it's a consumer play too, right? The weaker the consumer gets. Like I don't even want to buy Walmart until $80. Like I think Walmart is about to puke city down to the downside, right? And so like this name, where's the 200 period for? There it is. So that's the level I'm looking at right there. $82 in for Walmart, and I'm not even sure. I'm gonna have to look at a proper 50 period because we don't have it from split adjustedness there. But anyways, $80 to $82. This is kind of where I was thinking about picking up some Walmart. I'm not in Walmart, so that's been good that we're not in it, but missed out the whole 2024, which was huge. Costco also, you don't get that many drips in Costco either. And again, talk about maybe potentially a weak retailer there. Costco down 14% might be something else to think about as well. So I like some retail plays, but for me, Kava would be number one, just trying to get some of that alpha back into the market. So that's what I like anyways, Kava and Reddit. But now Reddit, I might have to forget it because that's up 10% right here. But maybe that's the start.
If I ever got into a HIMS, it would be a swing. I don't know if I want to own that stock because I don't really know enough about it. But Nick asked to look at XOM, and then there was someone. It was Mark O was trying to ask a question in the chat, and I couldn't understand it. If you could just reframe it, and even like someone else just said here, Ari Page is also asking if you could reframe it because I couldn't understand what you were getting at. So we don't mind answering questions here. I'm only in one stock. And I haven't reloaded on Apple this level because the market looks like it's curling a little bit here, so I don't think it'll be a reload. I think if we lose this 30, I want to just jump out of it and be able to take out that trade because I think you have a bit of a reversion happening on the overall market. And if it does a pullback, then this is a range we've been buying into on Apple, so I want to be able to get out. So someone was asking about XOM, and hopefully if you can reframe that question there, that would help. The question about XOM, like, energy's tricky, man. Energy has been performing, what's the best way to think about it? I've considered it disappointing. I'm in the XLE and CVX. Okay, that's not true. I also own Enbridge in Canada. But it's been disappointing. What I can say is XOM, when you look at the weekly chart, there is nothing wrong with it. And it's breaking out on the weekly chart as well. So the caveat, of course, that a lot of the oil and energy stocks have not been doing what you want to see out of them, and oil in general hasn't, it's still a very good-looking long-term chart, and they give you a dividend. I happen to like Chevron a little bit better. Randy would tell you XOM, or you could just buy the XLE. I think those are all solid plays, but it's not, to me, it's not the parabolic going to be a huge runner and dominate your next 6 months type of play. I don't think that at all, especially with some concerns about recession. I think you got to throw that in there as well. That keeps on getting priced as a higher and higher probability that you could have one in the short term. But I think you got to temper your expectations with how much you can get. But long-term hold, I think, is fine. So Apple, I said I will not reload. If it could not hold on to that 30, we're going to jump out. Wasn't reversing short because I want to get into a firm and see if that'll give me the fill. It's not pressing into 47.5, but I can get in here and give it to that 47.5 on a firm with the futures trying to come back in a little bit. So we're out of Apple. Couldn't get to that 215, but I wanted it before it got there. We can always work into that tomorrow. I think Apple 215, Amazon 200, if we hold the highs, are both viable plays for tomorrow.
Yeah, I put on, yeah, good call. I mean, I really like Apple up there at 215. We sort of did talk a little bit about that. So I put on one unit here just to try. You know, like I'm going to get out at 64, like that 50-period moving average right here. I put 64.05. What is it? Yeah, so basically we'll try 20 handles. That was about the risk. I don't want, we've had a great, like a monster comeback today for me anyways, in a name like Palantir, where we've really ran this high side here. So I don't want to throw everything back trying to beat all cute and everything with the futures. We do have now, I mean, what a trade. QBTS, I mean, honestly, this is a big one, guys. Like this is a big trade as it just continues to go to the upside. Now $1.50 on this $10 name. We're 15% in the money, and it still wants to go. All right, so here's the TQs. It does fade out. Just so you guys know, 64.05 is my stop. So we're short at 85, so that's 20 handles. So we're gonna put a bid just in case we do. We could flush pretty quick, right, on this. So we'll put a bid down there at 65, see if we can get out of about 25% of it for 1-to-1. And then, like I said, we'll hold for a little bit more. Generally speaking, though, like I like this trade better at 10 o'clock. At 10:30 or something like that, where I feel like we will have, and we could still tank now. I mean, the market has no problem getting faded. That is for sure. But like, I'm not hearing anything in my ear about anything. The last news we heard was good news about Reddit in Google. So we'll wait. But yeah, watching out for the market to come back in. Feel pretty okay about this position, but I'm not in love with it. So let's just monitor it just for good old sake. All right, here are the imbalances about what we're doing right now. Some sells. There's QBTS, but this is NYSE, so we don't really have to worry about that one. We're just looking for broker fills. And right now, Love Southwest is a big sell. That's coming at the end of the day. Right now, ADT, I guess a security company, that should be coming through. Here comes the TQs, 5 handles in the money. We'll see. Teladoc. Juniper, maybe, giving you some, that's funny that's a New York stock. We can see what Juniper is doing right now as another tech name. Yeah,
is that always in New York? No.
Must have been. I don't know. Why would you switch? I mean, most people switch the other way. PG, QSR.
Is Juniper a sell? Because it's supposed to be a deletion.
Yeah, well, that's why then. Yeah. No, it is a sell. So if it's supposed to be a deletion, that's why. All right. So I'm not really going to be I mean, obviously we're not afraid to do anything, but QBTS right here, small piece left. We could put our stop at 1140. So I'm thinking about putting it right there. So let's just switch it up, man. So again, our initial stop was about 50 cents from here. So we'll wait to see now 1140. Let's just put that in 1144. If it breaks lower than that, we will get out of 100% of our QBTS. So yeah, all good, man, on that front. Palantir is making them sing right now. The futures are flat, and yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Oh, there was a question. Yeah. Burn in the chat, at Sean, at Neil. Do you have a video on these imbalances and how to trade them? So just come to my screen for a quick little sec. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, what is this? Keep going, wait for it, get rid of this stupid ad and skip it. So there's this video, just You guys can find it. If you literally Google Trader TV Live and trading and imbalances, you'll see this video. Trading imbalances successfully. Apparently, Arun was there and I wasn't there that day. But you and Arun, I think, go over it. I think it's you going over it. Might not be.
What was it?
Oh, someone asked about a video 2 years ago.
Oh, the imbalances.
There's an imbalance, how to look at what you're looking for, how to trade it. So check that one out. You can always find it. And if we don't have an educational video on something and you're like, guys, why don't you have one? Just message us, DM us, put it in the comments section, or let us know if we can do anything better for you guys with regards to that. And I know I had just said it was Juniper. Also was expecting about 5 million expected sell on Juniper, and there might be 5 million sell on Kellanova, I guess you call it now. So
Yep.
Kellogg's, they're Kellanova. So both those could be big imbalances because they're expected deletes. So we'll see. Doesn't mean they're going to be, but you watch out for them in about 15 minutes or 25. It's not 25 minutes. It's 35 minutes. I got plenty of time. So just got into a firm off that local high. It just printed 46.8. Short 47.18. The local top here is like 47.30. Try to get a little bit more. I think 46 is a good inflection point. Lots of supply at 46. That's where it dropped at the open, and a ton of supply there. So I'm looking for that as a bounce spot. Remember, this is still a stock which has been uptrending for most of the day, despite the fact that it's down 6%. So if we get the buck, we're just gonna take it and try to run Reddit. And I just did it. I typed in NASDAQ for Reddit, and that's also on the New York. Reddit first pullback. Right through 141 and to 36. I kind of thought you'd drift a little bit further on a pullback, given how far it had run, right back up to 40s. So it's got quite the volatility on Reddit right now. I was kind of hoping it would sell down and give a good consolidative long, but it did not. But so far, so good on a firm off the top. You're about to get consecutive bars on the NASDAQ on the 15-minute to the downside, which is the first time since about 9 o'clock in the morning. There actually hasn't been consecutive. That's just not true. You had it at about 11 o'clock. So I think you're getting a nice little turnaround here. Going to look for that pullback into 46 on a firm, get some continuation. I've only gone short this name, despite the fact that it's been trending up most of the day. Sometimes you get away with it because you stop shorting it when it breaks VWAP. Should have sniffed the reverse on. I don't know why I didn't like a reversal on a firm. I'd have to go back and think about that because it was very clean on the reverse off our morning short. But, you know, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, so we'll just continue to do our thing here. We do have a nice move down in the Qs. It only got down to 10 handles in the money. And of course, we're waiting for a little bit more, so we'll have to wait to see if we can get that activated now to the downside on that. We already have our stop in, and we just took some more out there on Palantir as, yeah, man, maybe the futures are trying to retrace a little bit. We'll take some more out at the 50 period. And on this trade, we're pretty light on this trade now for Palantir. Again, I'd have to go back and check. I'd say we're probably 10%, maybe even a little bit less. As if we're going to go short anything, we've already chose our poison here, and that's going to be the TQs. So maybe we'll just get out a little bit more of Palantir at this level, and just to see. I'd hate to drop. We'll get some out here at 79 if we can. There it is. So I'd hate to. There it goes. I'd hate to drop out on this trade, and then it rips, because then we basically lose on this, and then we'll also lose on our futures bet. But this futures bet is about the equivalent of the same amount of shares that we have left on Palantir. So let's try to be, if we can be right on both. We just got some out at 79 there, so that was good. I'm gonna take another piece right here at 71s, right there on Palantir. And now, there we go, get out at 71s. Now we'll wait to see what the story is here. So that's my trade sort of happening now on PLTR, getting out of that one, and then just waiting to see if these futures do want to go for a little bit of a run. We did trade Google earlier, where we were going short until it broke VWAP. So this is, again, a cup of coffee, short, flat, out, and now it's dripping. So I do think this is one of the best names in the Mag 7, but I'm already just talking my book there because I'm pretty loaded up on this. So I'm going to wait to buy more. That's why attention sort of changes a little bit over to Amazon as maybe my favorite long. So, all right, that's that right now for Google. We'll see if it does want to kick back a little bit, potentially up to, how much time? It's already 3:20. So we've made our bet a little bit. We're holding on to some Palantir right here and the Qs. So we're getting out of some Palantir because it's at the 50 period, and then we're waiting for the NASDAQ to go, and we have our QBTS located already. AMD, maybe for a potential short. 106, wow, great level.
5%, man.
This name is probably, as you were talking about with a trend line, probably breaking higher.
I think there might be a trade on AMD.
Maybe this is the long that we're supposed to have.
The only thing is I've been saying that, but then I'm like, I'm not doing it unless it holds a 50 period on the daily. Because I don't trust AMD as far as I can throw it. And I have a pretty good arm. Well, scratch that. I haven't like really tried to throw in a while. I used to have a really good arm, but I'm older now. No, it's just like the trend line is breaking, but the 50 period also could break, and then you could give it to the bottom of the trend. I think if this can hold a 50 period, then you give it back to what was the top of this trend since October. That'll be the trade, and then hold it until the 200 period. That could give you maybe like 115 into 140, and then try to hold a piece for the dream. This stock just stinks, man. Like, what do you... If a stock is this bad, trending down, I think you need to be more convinced that it's breaking out than just one day. Because if you did that the last time, it's done a couple of good moves, you've been burned, it's wicked above on earnings and then kind of pull back. So I'm not convinced yet, but it's getting there, man. And 5% today, if it follows through later on this week, maybe after Fed does nothing on Wednesday, if this is following through, then AMD can be the breakout play that everyone's been hoping it would be for a long time. But I think back to Alibaba. Like Alibaba, you could try it on the way down, but once it made the bottom, it was shockingly easy to get long off of those lows in the 70s and 80s. You just had to wait for it to actually make a bottom. AMD's still channeling down. So if firm's going to get to 46, it looks like here, and this is where I'm expecting supply to come in, because that's what it did before. And this is what I mean by a supply zone. It gets there, hangs out, buyers win, and then it goes higher off of 45.95. So expecting bounce off the 46 level. If we revert from here, then I'm just going to prior bar high trail out of the stock. So prior bar high, meaning hold 46, and currently that'd be like 46.40 on AFRM. Yeah, they've been burned a little bit, and I don't wonder if Klarna's IPO is going to be bad for them, in that IPOs sometimes, if they can signal a little bit of a top, and I'd be a little bit worried if Klarna comes to market and drops, and a firm is still holding this range, that it could see another leg down. Despite their solid earnings, they had good earnings last quarter, and they still got beaten up. That'd be my concern. I don't know when Klarna's coming to market, though. But I do feel like we're going to trade it, though I don't know that I'd want to own it when it comes to market.
Yeah, well, they filed, so I think it'll be imminent, like maybe this month. Well, what, March, maybe.
I hope it's this month.
Maybe, yeah, March, April. We'll figure that all out. SMCI looking bullish. We can have a quick look at that. Let's just check out Reddit right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. What?
I don't even, like, okay.
Okay. What's up, Reddit? I mean, wow, okay. This is a nice move down. Right into VWAP again. So I used to trade news like all the time, and then now a little bit like weary of doing that. I'm sort of glad that we didn't push the button up there. You know, falling right back into VWAP, normally I would say that's a long, but now that we're underneath it, it looks like a short to me. So I don't, you know, again, I think you're going to have to risk at least $2 or $3 here. The spread is about 40 cents. And then if it moves against you, it's going to move fast. So that seemed right there. It just opened up to 50 cents, 60 cents. So I think you got to be really careful with this one. Reddit is falling back down. Again, I don't know. Adara's busy doing so many things over there, but I don't know if that story's changed or not. But people got real excited about it. Now, the only thing that I could think of is Adara already nailed it because she had said that this was something that was maybe potentially already in the works. So once people realize that, maybe that is the pushback now for Reddit. So I would say 130 looks like a pretty good spot. But yeah, good thing you guys are all right, man. Good thing you did get out of whatever you got out of, because this one right now is looking like it wants to go southbound. And of course, ask and you shall receive. Adara at the desk.
I did a little bit of research in this on X because I couldn't find any new info on Benzinga or any news sources. For what I'm reading here, apparently this was initially announced as of February 22nd, 2024 on Google's blog. So unless there's another addition to the this, I guess, this platform, this partnership, that could potentially be a catalyst. But I'm reading through this blog post, and what they mentioned in the blog post, which is Reddit partnering to use Google's Vertex AI, it sounds exactly identical to the report we just got. So it's a little unclear as to how this occurred. Basically, we did have Reuters reporting, I guess, 11 minutes before this stock popped, that Reddit and Google would be expanding their partnership. Now, from what I can tell here in the research I've done, I'd like to look more into this, it seems like this partnership was announced at least a month ago. So it does look like this could have been a bit of a situation where news was reported after the fact. It's also worth noting, too, we had this push to Reddit to the upside today despite a downgrade. Apparently, it had its first major insider buy since its IPO, $100,000 worth of shares posted by one of the company's directors. So first major insider purchase this morning, and this Google hullabaloo. I'll have to look more into this situation, but it does seem like this report could have some issues. Back to you.
Insider buying is, to me anyways, probably to a lot of traders, matters more than upgrades and downgrades.
Yeah.
I mean, because as far as I'm concerned, like insiders selling, they got to sell at some point. That's how, whatever, you get a bunch of shares, you're CEO, you're an officer, they sell at random increments. It doesn't always tell you something. But insider buying, they like their stock. And when you look at, I understand it's pullback and hopefully no one bought those highs. We didn't pull the trigger. It never looked that great buying some of those tops. But even on the daily, it still looks solid here. Like you're holding a higher low, you held the 200 period, so the pullback, as long as it's above 120, when you look at the daily chart, it's actually looking pretty good, and that 200 period gives you some cover. It's right back to Friday, almost a Friday's close. So I would think, I mean, the other side of it is, okay, well, the market's at the highs in the V-shaped recovery, so take this story out. How far would you expect this to fall? Even if that was already a thing, well, it was bouncing before this, and then the volume came in around this 25, 26. You don't wonder if Friday afternoon support turns right back into support a couple of dollars from here. That's the only thing I would look at, but I don't want to be catching the falling knife. I think you could run yourself into a little bit of trouble there. I'm just going to go back over to one that we were trading before, which is Apple. Because oddly enough, this is it's actually holding up pretty decently. So I got out when it lost this 214.3. It was in the top consolidation, but it's right back at that price. It's not falling very rapidly. It's putting in a higher low now. If it can kind of do this with a little bit more strength, I might jump back into it, but it is 330, so we have to put that in our minds as well. It's so close to the high. I've got the trail. If we break this 46.4 bar, then I'm going to be out on a firm. It's bouncing off of 46, and maybe we get a chance to reload this in front of the 47.5. So a firm, short, not touching Reddit unless it drops. It would have to drop all the way down to 126. Like, show me where it was when this story happened. The market's up since. The market has generally been riding higher, so as long as we're not flushing, I would think that could be a nice little bounce zone for Reddit. Crazy. This is why you don't always chase moves at those highs. You can't do it.
All right. Just thinking about the futures. So, unfortunately, we just took 10 handles there. I don't know. I mean, it's not. Remember, we were saying like we weren't really. What happened? Oh, I made my mouse so much slower. We weren't really certain of this trade, to be honest with you. So. There's 10 handles. We were just bidding 75s. I'm actually going to put another bid there if we can get it. I only took out 10%. Let me put another 10% there if we do come in. It just right now it's kind of like it's not doing anything, and I don't want to really wait around for something to happen. So we're just exiting it out. It was only a one unit position. All right, so QBTS 1140, but now we got to change that. Now it's 1150. So I'm going to change that here into the close. Again, I don't really, let's go 1148. I mean, the 50, did that go out? Yeah, okay. The 50 period moving average is here at 60s. We're bouncing around it. I'm going to give it 10 more cents into that. I mean, it's a big trade here to end the day. Hopefully we can withstand that. Amazon, we had that story earlier, trying to go for that $200 mark. This is going to be another red name for me today. We have this and Palantir, both red. Even after this monster move, $1.50 in the money for Palantir, still red on it. Just put too much risk onto it early, but like we said, man, exponential sizing is what we have to do. So there it is, man. Nice move down into 197, 196.50 there for Amazon. I want to look at this tomorrow. We're only up right now 1%, and they're down on Amazon. So I do think there's some love for this name, but just not today. So if we can get an upgrade tomorrow or something, this is definitely going to be a name to look at. Uber right now up 3. Okay, well, Uber, I'm getting a VWAP test right now, so we can have a quick look to see if there's anything here. I'm a little hesitant at the end of the day. We talked about this all last week. And
Don't think about this.
okay,
Just answer with
That's
one of
easy
these
for me.
two. Larnosh or Beto?
I don't even know who Larnosh is.
Doesn't matter. Pick one.
Larnosh.
Done.
Oh, you're drafting?
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil's in his.
It's at
What
the-
round is that?
Oh, this is deep.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's
I was
like
gonna
really deep in my keeper league, so it's like it's an outfielder for my bench on Minnesota or.
You should ask me the team, maybe. What were the
It was
teams?
Minnesota or Athletics because it's not
Minnesota. Did I pick the Minnesota guy?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, he's on my bench now.
I would have gone there too. I think
They were like the
I like
chat
the
was
farm
like
system over there.
bugging me. That's like Neil, you've been up for a while.
Yeah. How
I'm
long
like,
is a while?
well,
Like
it's a
10
work
minutes?
day. What's so crazy is if you don't if I don't pick within a few minutes, everyone's like, oh my goodness. But there's a dude who didn't pick for like 4 hours and not.
Well, that's nice, man. Baseball's coming back into the swing of things. When is the opening day? April 4th or something? I saw? Oh, 26th of March.
27th.
Right. Oh, maybe are we not at home to start?
We are. Yeah, we start on the 27th.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I saw April 4th or something.
I have to run some magic to get my daughter to the game because my wife was gonna. Anyways, I'm taking that afternoon off to go. But usually what'll happen is my wife will work from home,
Right, and then
take the kid out of
bring her
school,
in.
but then she has to be downtown. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way that I'll do the morning show and then I'll have to go back.
yeah, drive in.
Yeah, I'll have to go back to Brampton and then come back downtown because I don't. It's opening day, man. My daughter's gonna get to go. If I have to run some nonsense going back home and then coming back in, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
It's just all about the experiences, man. That's what it's all about. But I just heard something on Beyond Meat. I finally got.
No, that's not Beyond Meat.
What?
BYON.
Oh, never mind. I misheard the guy. I finally got it working, but he's a little quiet in my ear. It wasn't working all afternoon.
BYON. I mean, we can look it up.
I thought I heard Beyond.
It is Beyond.
BYO.
BYON today. So there's some
Psych.
news about Beyond in our ears.
Oh, but that stock's not doing anything.
Yeah, it's not doing too much. Okay, so that's about that. Yeah, not much else going on. Is there anything you guys want us to look at right now? Because honestly, man, I mean, I'm not really feeling the love on any of these names. We're still long on Quantum. Although, why didn't we get stopped out? What happened there? We should have, right?
Trail.
Oh, no, it's still up. Okay, what am I
Bounced off
talking
the
about?
moving average.
Yeah, we're still well up on this thing. Okay, bounced off, so we're not nowhere near getting stopped out. Our stop out is, well, we're close, but 25 cents from here, so we will wait for that. All right, we can always just check. Let's just take a look back on Reddit. Yeah, who just said that right there? Ali with 2 L's and 2 I's says that Reddit move was weird. Yeah, I think we don't talk about stock moves being too weird too often, but there it is. A nice move back in, kind of as expected there. You know, shaking my head with SMR, $18. So I can't really get to figure this name out too much. I bless you. I still like SMR here. Okay, here we go. Come on, TQs. So now we're starting to get in. Give me that. We're at 76. It just missed us. So again, we're trying to take the 10 handles if we can get it right now. Just missed us there. Just came back in. So again, you know, with only a half hour left and only 10, 15 minutes left now till imbalances, you know, not really worth getting, risking this into imbalances. But I'm sitting here at 76, hoping to get a fill. That'll be, whenever I say 10 handles, like whenever I say like $1, it's normally like 90 cents, or I always try to sit a little bit ahead of it. On the futures, it doesn't really matter. It's just more habit. And I don't know, we all have our little quirks. So I'll just sit there. There it is. Man, that thing sucks. How about this one?
No, the other one. That's the one.
And then this is my favorite one, though. Market gold.
I actually have that shirt. The one you.
All right, we got out. Yeah, so we're actually now out of 20% of it. I got 5% the first time, and I just put 15% right there the second time. So we're still waiting. I do have another 10% at 67. Again, trying to make those 20 handles, and then yeah. We'll see, man. Maybe those imbalances can be good for your boy. But this is another situation where if you're risking it, see what I'm saying? Like we talked about exponential sizing. So shout out to Day Trader Cut and everybody out there that's trying to play with size. And it's just like right there, $64. Like now you're getting more and more into the money on this trade, because now if you're playing with the same shutdowns, now your shutdown is $63.98, your stop out. So now you can put it a little bit lower to the point where if you're out of half of the trade, you're almost 1-to-1 now, right? Because if we lose, we'll lose 15 handles, and right now we're in the money 10. So it's pretty much 1-to-1. So congratulations, anybody that talked about that. What's up, Escape Planet? A handle is just 1 point on the NASDAQ. So you could see here as the NASDAQ is NQ /H25. So here's what it looks like. Oh, these are the E-minis. That's fine. That's the right ones, not the micro. So right here, it'd be like 650, 7. So every time, see how it trades in quarters? So normally when you're talking about a tick, it'll be a quarter, and then a handle will be the full point. So it's just the way that we talk on the floor. You could say 1 point, but like 100 points in the money, you like to say 100 handles.
It's just the normal language for the futures.
Yeah.
Like people like the say it's weird because traders will say points for stocks, but then they'll say handles for futures. It's just whatever. And you know,
traders are weird.
No, I actually think it comes from listening to Ben because that's how they describe it. There was a squawk guy years ago that all the floors used to listen to, Ben Lichtenstein.
Yeah,
something like that. And he would always
like Wolfenstein, you know, like that game.
Pretty much. That's an old game. Just quickly, we got a super chat. Oh, where'd it go? There we go. We got a super chat from Vinu. Why is Reddit back all of it? Any thoughts? So, but Derek came in and updated the story for us that release. Let me go back to. Sorry, I was just looking at maybe a firm would get us back into that short, but it's not going to get there. It doesn't seem. So Reddit. The story was one that there was a press release that had already come out describing this partnership, so it was kind of old news, which to some extent, I guess, when the market realized that or when enough people realize it, it pulls almost back to where it started. That, to me, would be the bounce spot. If it can get anywhere near 120, this low's 125. It's at 128 now. So with 20 minutes to go, that's a horrible risk-to-reward trade to try to be long 28s into 25, because I think you're not wrong till it breaks this, which is almost 125 even. So I was looking for it to push all the way back because, like, well, the market's kind of up. Why would it I can see it retracing the move, but why would it be lower than when it started is what wouldn't make any sense to me on Reddit, and maybe we get a chance to be able to trade off of that. And yeah, back in the day, Racer X9, Ben was great at talking futures.
Right, there he goes.
Back in the day, we couldn't even, it felt weird if you turned them off. Whether you were trading the futures or trading things that moved. Like I was trading like penny stocks and small cappers, and it felt weird to me not listening to him in the futures pit, even though it had nothing to do with what I was trading in the moment. I don't know if anybody still does that the way that he did. I just feel like it's just a different game now. Because he would actually read the futures every single tick and what was going on in the pits and like big buyers and big sellers. I don't know if anybody does anything like that. So I don't think we're going to get a reload back into a firm up above 47. This is heading right back into lows. A good place to get out, but no opportunity to get back in. And I just heard Apple back at the high. So Apple does break 215. Yeah, maybe should have stuck with Apple. I like the shorts at that top. We got out of the Apple long to take the Affirm short, and then Apple goes right back into the high. So could have jumped right back into Apple. Straight upside. Again, it's only 0.7%. It's not about the percentage. That's less in the market. It's the way that it did it. Bounced right off of Friday's low, complete V-shaped recovery, and I think lots of room to go tomorrow. I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want this gapping down to 212 tomorrow, but 215, that looks like a good over-under for continuation longs on Apple. I just really hope we get that shot. 10 minutes till imbalances. We'll see if we get something on those imbalances. I'm expecting maybe a shot at Kellanova or it was Juniper, but that's actually pretty small now, 700,000. QBTS, that's from the morning. I would expect you might see something on one of the quantum names in the afternoon, just given how big the imbalances were in the morning, and then LUV is in there. Yeah,
not to interrupt, but remember this week we do have the MSCI. So it's on Friday. It's the third Friday. So there.
Oh, it's March.
Yeah,
it's
March.
No, it's S&P.
S&P.
Even bigger.
February, March. Yeah, third month. Yeah, it's bigger.
Oh, that's even huge.
So we just had MSCI actually.
Yeah, I got to look up the spreadsheet then.
Right. So that's the other thing. So on Friday, all of us around here are expecting imbalances, and we talked about that, and we actually had Raider Trader on, obviously, on Friday. They're talking all about those imbalances as well. He looks forward to trading those, yeah. So what the imbalances are is the S&P 500 needs to reweight things. So they have certain weightings, like XYZ stock. Apple, for example, has to have 2% value. And once it gets higher than that, then they start to trim some down and they look to upweight other names that have potentially traded out of their balance. So that's what we call it, to rebalance. And then you also have options expiration. It's quad witching. So you have single stock futures and the likes. Lots happening for sure. What just happened in TQs? Why did I get stopped out there?
No chance.
No, wait a second.
Didn't move.
Yeah, I know. All right, let me just have a quick check here. Where was my fill? So we got 80. Yeah, oh, we must have got a bad trigger. All right, so I don't know what just happened. Like, we weren't even on that stock, and we just got taken out. So, all right, I'm not gonna get back in now, but yeah, I did not mean to get out there. It's a winner, okay, but barely on that last trade. So anyways, I don't know, like, all of a sudden I was just like, what? I looked down and we were out. We got out a couple minutes ago, so I didn't even realize that. I thought I got taken out of QBTS as well, and we did. Okay, so it's actually me getting taken out of QBTS is what made me look down into the blotter. So I maybe I made a keystroke error myself and got taken out there on the TQs. I mean, we could just, let me put it right back in. I'll offer 84s, there it is. So we'll put that back in with the stop at 64.01. We'll give it the same love. But the thing is that this trade is more just, I'm just trying to see if it was gonna work. I'm fully understanding that in 9 minutes, Kilo, Oscar, Delta, Kilo. Kodak right now. Remember when Trump talked about this name not too long ago? Well, in his first, I believe it was his first.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is also down right now, apparently. But Kodak.
That doesn't sound good.
Fired. Kodak right now with a nice move up from 685 to 708 again there. So we'll find out news about that. But this was another name where Trump was talking about this his first time around, I believe, Kodak.
I know it was something to do with producing.
Was it NFTs?
No, they were, because photo companies using because it's a chemical company, basically, photo companies, they're going to use them for supply of vaccines and stuff.
Oh, wasn't
that the story back in the day? You guys will let me know.
Bitcoin's at 84.5.
Because it's just a chemical process. They have all the labs and whatever it is that you need to produce.
Oh, the keys are going down.
Actually works. But anyways, let's go to Adair, maybe get that news story on Kodak if there is something.
There isn't one, but with Kodak, I think it's worth noting we have a 9% short float, and they report earnings after the bell. So Eastman Kodak, KODK, stay tuned. They are an earnings name, 4 p.m. Eastern. They're expected to report, so right as the bell rings. There's really not much in the way of earnings for tonight other than names like Kodak or some other small caps like Getty, guys. Back to you.
Well, that makes
so a pop up there. We'll stay back of it. Okay, here we go, man. It's not a fruit salad time, but this is time to see if we have a winner. This music's kind of like winner-esque. Oh,
I want to see Randy's though.
Randy left, so my guess is, hey Juan, how's it going, my guy? Randy left, so I'm thinking that he didn't win because normally he would have came in and rubbed it in my face.
What's up now, Randy?
What's up now, Randy?
Not really.
Okay, here we go. Is it a winner today? All right, Neil. Finally, you're back. And guess what?
Free donut. No. Please play again.
Like,
well,
it's too much, man. This is too much. So me losing there shut the whole stream down.
See, that's bad luck,
Tim
man.
Hortons must be watching.
But think about that. But
even
if you
was like,
won, what would have happened if you won?
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't play roll up the rim anymore.
Or you could just win a free donut.
I have a free donut in there. I got to get you in. Well, anyways, I was going to spend it on my daughter.
You know what? I've been sneezing like crazy. Well, I'll tell it. In Florida,
yeah,
maybe it's like being next to the beach or the ocean, but like my allergies do not exist.
Yeah, that is probably what it is.
Like it is wild, man. Like I was down there. I'm like, holy. Like you see me all the time. Like eyes well up, easy. There's too much dust around here, but man, it's so nice. Maybe it's just I'm meant to be by the water. Just one quick note. I don't think I'm going to reload a firm
at
our entry price because there's only 5 minutes till the imbalances.
You could be like a Miami Marlins fan.
I could see myself being a snowbird when I get older.
Yeah.
Going down to
well, you're getting there now, so yeah.
You're 100% right. I did see some interesting properties down there. Berkshire in Indian Shores, there were a bunch of great properties, and it was Berkshire that was selling them all.
Yes.
Their real estate.
Maybe you can give them a couple shares for a couple properties. I mean, you could.
I don't own very much.
You do that switch.
I have some from way back then.
Hey Juan, I found a Herman Miller, man. So don't worry, we're all good over there. Thanks, Juan. All right.
Why are you talking about shares?
Oh, because I was bugging Juan last week that I didn't have a Herman Miller, but then these guys had an extra one. So I borrowed Wayne's. Yeah, because we need to have equal
It's supposed to
height
look the same.
there. So you know how professional we are.
Really, you should just sit in whatever's comfortable, but.
Yeah, this one's, I don't. So Ramin was sliding off. Okay, overdo Adara.
Oh, right.
Apparently. No?
No?
Oh.
No, we're just continuing.
The Tim Hortons roll up the rim screwed up the
It
whole
screwed everything
thing.
up.
Like now all of a sudden it's like no one has any idea.
But just to reiterate, I am not going back into a firm at the entry price.
And
even
to
though it's
reiterate,
right
you
there,
are
I'm
buying
not.
a property in Florida.
I think at some point I would strongly consider it.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, I think it's decent investment. We have a couple friends, as I'm sure a lot
It's only because I go every
That's what I'm
single
saying.
year.
It's like it might be worth it. You could rent it out. I don't know if you want to deal with Airbnb or anything like that. All right, what's up, Adara?
I just wanted to bring this up here because I know we were talking about Friday here with the MSCI and the rebalances. Here's just a quick look here. This just went on X at TTV Research. Here are the names that are going to be added to the S&P 500 and the names that are going to be deleted. And it's interesting here, of the 4 names that are getting added, only Dash and Expand Energy are actually up on the year. I'm going to be working on some other names here or other infographics for the other indices that are having some changes made. So you can check that out on X at TTV Research for fun research content every day. Back to you.
Yeah, DoorDash.
DoorDash I get, but you're telling me Williams-Sonoma.
Give me that delivery service.
I guess. Williams.
All right. Yeah, Williams, the Sonoma of William. Yeah, it's not bad. All right. So here we go again, guys. It's a good thing we got back in. Bang, 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 bang. Nush. All right. So there it is, man. We talked about it over and over again about the proper sizing, about trying to make some winning trades, so on and so forth. We did stop ourselves out by accident, I guess, a keystroke error, or I had a bad trigger. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we just got right back in, and virtually at the same price. Actually, at a better price than we had. So bank error favoring us right now. But at the end of the day, man, we always wanted this short. So we're in the short, and here we go. So now we'll wait to see if there's any magic to be had in Palantir and in the TQs, the only 2 positions that we have left. Let's see if we drip down. I am bidding 68 now. That'll be the last leg there, and then we'll see if we do get a complete drop. We only have 2 minutes until something happens, so I'm not in love right now with any of these trades. We're just gonna have to wait to see if the futures do eventually drop down. So I'm already out of half right there. Like, this has been the bottom. So we'll just scalp. This is like what we do best. I mean, both of us, all of us here scalp the best, I think. And then if there is a downside push, we'll probably only be on maybe 20-25% of this. So I got to do a little bit better trying to hold things a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, we'll just stay with what we're doing. So we're bidding 68s. Here it comes. Now it's almost a true 10 handles, but the futures are a thing, so we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening here into the close. Palantir, we've just been really emptying the clip out again, just more and more here, 70s, just getting them out ahead of what should be, again, a decent imbalance coming for them. I expect good imbalances all week, especially with these futures doing what they've been doing. Up 1%, down into zeros. Like, it's a good way to get your shares and not really talk about them into the close, right? So you can get a position on and basically hide your order because you need 5 million shares of Palantir. You put that in the book right now, you're affecting price 100%. If you put that into the close, it's just going to get done at closing price. So you shouldn't affect it that much. And that's the difference. And I think that there will be some decent shorting, or not shorting, but decent trading opportunities off of imbalances, which hit in just 1 minute. So we'll get ready to go. I'm going to change this all to broker right now. So you just go like that, activate the source. So I don't see any brokers. I just see NYSE and NASDAQ. So once those get populated at 350, then we'll have a little bit of a clearer direction of what we're trading. So we'll wait for that now, only 30 seconds. You're flat. I got these 2 positions, but getting lighter and lighter on them. So, we'll wait to see what happens with the TQs.
Yeah, I'm going to look at, obviously, Kellanova a little bit there, and just in case there is a sell, same thing with Juniper, but Affirm and Nvidia, the other ones that I have up. Nvidia, because it always does, and Affirm, just because it made a weird move going back into the upside, and we're trading it before at a key price level. But in about 10 seconds, my guess is one of the quantum names might be there, but I think Nvidia is going to have an imbalance. It's been too volatile of a day. Market up 1%, Nvidia down 1%. Usually it's going to be there, so imbalances just dropped. Let it update. Walgreens with a sell of 3.2. So 1.7 million to buy on Nvidia. That's not very big. Walmart 1.5 to sell. That's not normal. But Apple is 1.4 to the sell side. So Nvidia buy, Apple sell, Walmart sell, and then what else do you have here? Gap.
What else was there?
Gap is 1.2 million to sell. It's not really that big. Intel is 1 million to sell. Remember, Intel's a $25 stock. So Nvidia is not that big. I'm just curious as to why Walgreens would be a sell of 3 million.
I mean, the futures are going, finally.
Is there a trade here?
What Adara has just wrote down to us.
Short this.
Yeah, Walgreens, maybe. They're not being added or removed, right?
Not yet. The deal just happened. It wouldn't be deleted yet.
Right. Well, they already got deleted. They were in the S&P 500.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's nobody deleted from.
Oh,
like,
from
goes private,
existence. Yeah.
That wouldn't happen for another quarter or two.
You would.
The move's already happened. You can only scalp this for a few pennies, and it already made the move.
So we're now huge now. So this is the situation. I mean, we're not huge because we don't have very many shares, but this is that exact trade. So if anybody out there was trying to size and trying to do good on that trade, we always talk about not really being in to a name into the imbalance, but this time it actually worked out. So there go the futures, man. It's 20 handles. There's your money trade for the afternoon if anybody wanted it. I mean, we did like sort of spill that one and sort of labeled it very, very clearly right there. So, I mean, I hope that some of you guys are on this. There's the short. It's really coming in. And we're not... Look, sometimes you get lucky, and honestly, like, I'll take the luck as much as I can get it. There's the move down. We already baselined this trade for you, and we said, like, this is what can happen. Like, if you're going to take risk and it's going to make sense, sometimes you get paid off. So there it is right there. Honestly, a good trade, big trade, and very, very happy to make it. So we'll do that right here at the end of the day, and it's a good one, just really topping it off there. So good trade, and we did get out. We're almost out of everything. I got out of some Palantir there on that imbalance as well before it broke the shelf. So a good trade just for you guys into the close, man. The Palantir was taken just after 2 o'clock, so we all could have had that long. We'll hold that for an hour and a half into the close again. So that's about $1.30, $1.40, and then 20 handles in the money. We just took 30 on TQQ with a 10 handle risk. So not too bad there as we go. We're getting out of this trade, though, to finish off the day, 352. Let's put another bid here. You could flip over on these imbalances again, as Neil is just looking at Walgreens. Nvidia with a buy. You could see, you see what I'm saying about this, the share size here?
I'm
like,
hoping that'll flip.
Yeah, whoopsies. Where did it go? Oh, God. There's Nvidia right there. So, again, 1.5 million, into 218 million. Nah. It's not a big, huge trade, right? So we'll have to wait to see if anything makes of this. And then Walgreens Boots Alliance is a buyout that Neil's talked about. So we'll wait to see if there's any moves there. I guess a nice downside move on the sell imbalance. But
I'm kind of hoping that'll flip, so I might stick around to see if there's an opportunity on that one. But yeah, Firm is getting bought again. Wild, man. Like, it's right back up to the top. So I actually thought there might be an imbalance on this. Had it been a sell, or some kind of a buy that could have flipped to a sell, I'd look for the trade at the same level, but there isn't an imbalance of any size, and there's only about 5 minutes left here, so not going to touch it with the 10-foot pole. I was hoping for a 355 reversal on a Firm, because that's the level we shorted at it before, but the only thing I'll look at is if there is a flip. Let's see if I can't, try to, see, they just did it again.
what happened?
I'll tell you. No, it's
the share size thing?
Yeah, I went to like flip and change my share default, and it just decided to add 2 zeros. I'm not punching into the stock, but if there is a flip at 55, you can pick this. I may get a chance to be able to pick it up off a local bottom, only if I can get the low. So with 1 minute to go, that'd be the only trade I would try to take in here. I bungled along on this earlier today, where I had like 22s and took it out at 25, and then it went to 29. On this stock, if you can get 7 cents instead of 4, like that ish matters.
Yeah.
It's not going to move a ton, and I had it, and I didn't. I had some shorts in here that I didn't take advantage of either. But yeah, I'm going to look for a flip. But if it's already going now with 30 seconds to go, it might not be a trade, because I'd be trying to get 17, 18 to play into 22, 23. And if you can't get it, there's no point. So keep an eye on the imbalances. It is still there at 2.7 to sell. Nvidia is still 2 million. That could also be a bit of a flip as well. It's 2 million to the buy side. You can see that flip in the next few seconds. Obviously, it just did it and did it early, because Nvidia is now gone. So obviously that buy and balance flipped or paired off, and now going to the downside, I would assume, is the market. And Walgreens also flipped early too. See, it's not 55 anymore. Walgreens just did the move 10 seconds early. That was the trade. You're gonna have to start looking for it before 55 instead of at 55. That's annoying. That was clean.
I mean, 10 handles worth of risk. 60 handles in the money. I mean, again, lucky that these are sell imbalances, but you know, it's you have to put the trade on. And we talked about the downside opportunity that was going to be here for this trade. So honestly, guys, like I hope you feel like you're rocking with decent traders here with good ideas, because there's not. I mean, that's just a good trade. We topped off our day. And again, I just hope that a lot of you had this. And if you didn't, cool too. I mean, you know, every trading style is completely different. We talk about that all the time. There it is. No, we didn't cover it. Oh, shoot. I was at 22s. I thought we got that, Phil. We did not. Okay, let's see if it comes in here. I'm going to cancel that. I mean, this is already 60 handles in the money. But it's at the 200 period. 63.15. I mean, we could just exit this trade and call it a day. Let's just do that. I'll put that 22 back in there. Hopefully we can get it. If we don't, you know what? The stop out was for flat anyways. Here it goes. Give it to me. Yes, sir. Bang. That's it. Oh, boy. Like I said, man, thank you, Sebastian. Thank you to everybody there, man. We knew we were feeling it last week, and now we've got, you know, Neil back here. We've got the full ship. But yeah, last week with Joe, we were four green days, 1 red day. Today's going to be a good day. Let's just wait to wind up seeing what winds up happening here at the close. But we're going to take that out. You know, and again, it's part of it's luck. Like when we've sat here and talked about these imbalances, I don't think it's luck when you're prepared for it, but oh man, maybe unlucky that I didn't get out of it. But there it comes, nice downside move, and getting out of Palantir as well. You know, you got to know your levels, play with it, and there it goes. So nice move to the downside there as well. The reason why I talk about handles on the TQs is like every 10 cents is basically like 10 handles. It's like, so we shorted there 63.85, which is right there at the 50 period moving average. And that was 19.917. So now you're down about 80 cents from there. So that's about right? That's 90s down to O's. So it's about 1 cent is like every handle. And I'm only talking about that on the TQs because there's a lot of traders out there that are obviously trading NASDAQ contracts. So that's why I talk like that. But anyways, at the end of the day, pretty good there to close out with. And yeah, you're already out of everything. Oh, you're going to wait for Walgreens.
Well, so it's probably dead now. But anyways, I only put on 2 this afternoon. They both work. But I'm really peeved at this Walgreens. It was free money. Free money's not the right word. It was a great setup for that flip trade. Like 355 imbalanced pair. And it did the exact move. It went from low of the day and local bottom over in here, and then right back into VWAP. Like that's a hit long at 18 or 19, risking to the bottom at 17 to get 23, 24, 25. Oops. Up there on volume. Like it's a 9 million shares. And there's a huge volume spike.
Huge.
But the lesson that I learned is for that trade, can't get wrapped up with 355. If you like it and you have the risk to the low, maybe just get in 20 seconds early if you can, instead of waiting to try to punch it as it goes. Because that's not the first time I've seen this happen a little bit early. Obviously, traders are getting out in front of this trade, and because I liked the stock and kind of liked it at that level anyways, next time I'll get it. But I'm just disappointed because that's as easy to get as a revision. Good luck to access. I have to get back up to the desk.
Yeah, get back over there. Get that all set up.
90 seconds to go. We have Kodak earnings after the bell.
Woohoo!
Aren't we excited?
Pound the siren on that one.
No one cares about Kodak.
What do you mean? Come on, man.
They don't care.
My whole net worth in that thing. Okay, so we'll wait to see what winds up happening here with that. But again, thank you so much for all the love and the support. Thank you, Showtime. And again, I'm just glad that it worked out because we talked about the risk to reward there on this play. So yeah, man, it's a banger. There it is for us to end the day. Shout out to Joe today, Sharif, Neil, Adara, Ramin, Andre, Brendo, Fabian, Bears versus Bulls. Come on, man. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I mean, honestly, controlling these hooligans in the chat can be something else. Like if I was doing that, I'd be like a mess. So thank you, everybody, for all of that. I think I said thanks to Dara. Thanks to Dara for all the drops there and noticing all that stuff about Reddit, clarifying all of that. Before we forget it, let me just check out Reddit one more time here. 125. Wow, really? Now read off that story. So a little bit of a surprise there, man. Let's keep Reddit on the radar tomorrow. All right, the countdown is now up and ready to go. So there we go. Adara's getting ready to hit this with only 7 seconds left. It looks like the NASDAQ will go out positive, as will the SPY. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I'm getting a notice that I still have pending orders, so I will cancel those. Oh yeah, because our TQ stop does not hit. All right, so far so good. The NASDAQ really took a dive there at the end of the day. I don't want to say a huge dive, but it gives back about half. We were up 1%. Oh boy, did we nail that one for that short there at the end of the day. So good trading there, man. Again, thank you so much for supporting us here at Trader TV Live. The only thing we can promise to you is every single day we will be live. We're live at 8:30. We're live now till 4:30 as we start to recap the show. We have earnings bonanzas when they're there, man. We come on early for Fed. We come on early for PPI, CPI, unemployment. So follow us, follow me, follow all of us. I'm over there. We put a nice showing there on Instagram this morning. So go have a look there as a behind the scenes. It was an absolutely great day. I'm off to go watch my daughter one more time play some hockey, so that should be a lot of fun. I like going, and then she's going to ask me for some Freshie or something tonight, which we're going to say no because the wife's already got some nice little. She makes these wicked. They're like chicken cutlets, but they're covered in cornflakes, and they're like a fried chicken sandwich, but a little bit healthier because it's baked. So we like doing that. I think that's what's on that pack for tonight. All right, there it is, man. Thank you so much to everybody. They're ready. We're already getting earnings. So from everybody here at Trader TV Live, I'm Sean. Thanks for watching. Ciao.
Thank you very much, Sean. I'm not making this up. My mom used to do the same thing with the cornflakes and the chicken, like with the fried chicken. It's not. It's delicious, and don't laugh if you've never tried it. Just give it a shot. The market, it was a big day for the market, Adara.
It was.
And I know the NASDAQ's up 0.5. We got a lot going on this week. You got Nvidia's AI event. We got the Fed doing nothing on Wednesday. We got Micron earnings and somebody else in Micron on Thursday.
Nike and FedEx.
And Nike, FedEx, and Micron. An annoying story about a FedEx driver, whatever. Blocking the walkway when we were trying to come back from the beach. And it's like forcing me to walk in the road when I've got our little cart thing that you take to the beach.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Like
that's annoying.
They were like, we're on a strip and all you have are these little like rental houses or like rental units with huge parking lots that you could just drive into and park there off the road. And the guy parks right in like the bike and walk lane.
That's chaotic.
Which that's all there is. I'm pulling this thing. And it's like I can walk into the street or nothing. And I'm like, and I have my daughter's there. It's like, why would you do that, dude? I don't like you, FedEx guy, that did that. But like, it's a good day for the market. Just the way we fell back was a bit of a different story at the end. A lot of imbalances that got paired off. So the Qs gives up a good chunk of what was a super impressive V-shaped rally day. No question about it, because I don't care who you were this morning, it was really weak. Outside of maybe Intel and a handful of names, I know ARM had a good morning and AMD had a good morning, but Nvidia was bleeding this morning. Tesla still ends up with a rough day. The Qs get back into the higher lows. This is usually a 3-minute chart. Just for me, I like it a little bit better. But yeah, a little bit of a dip there at the end of the day. But you can see across the board, we're green. Right, you had strength. I mean, look at these are two things I didn't look at today. But TAN 3.5%. Are you kidding me? For the solar names, uranium up 3 points. FXI. I mean, FXI being up, we shouldn't be terribly surprised. We saw the runs in Alibaba. Billy, Pinduoduo had some strong days. Energy had a good day, up 1.5%. I mean, it's all looking very good. And a couple of things that stood out. Obviously, I think at the end of the show there, Adara, and thank you for correcting. I mean, you can say correcting the story or giving the goods on Reddit. Clarifying the story on Reddit, because for it to be back at 125, and this stock went 125 to 140, almost 142. You're talking over a 10% move up on volume to get right back into the bottom. And this is the importance of understanding a news story before you trade it. We didn't touch it because Adara was talking about how this was a report, this partnership with Alphabet on AI that was already out there. So thank you for letting us know about that, because it's so easy to get rugged if you don't have the goods.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking here to see if there's anything more on that on X. But yeah, basically, I found a link to it on X and I looked at it. So it looks like Google's blog in late February 2024, actually, or 2025. Anyway, they announced this. This was announced a while ago, this expanded partnership, or at least like it, wasn't enough of a big deal to move the market. But yeah, it is worth noting here too that again, this is I think the way it was worded initially is it was a new partnership. It was never a new partnership, and again, had been announced previously. So whether or not the previous announcement had to do with the original partnership, regardless, I think the market realized it was quote unquote old news, and then it kind of dropped to the downside. There's also the issue of Reuters, which is certainly, I think, losing some of its credibility. We even had Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, call it out by name today and be like, no one should believe anything coming from Reuters, which is, again, not in and of itself an endorsement per se in terms of like, don't listen to Reuters, but it is worth noting, of course, how these sources are coming from. Elon Musk has also criticized Reuters in the past. So it's really important to look at the breadth of everything, which is really easy to get, caught up in or lost in when we have these market moving events.
Yeah, no question about it. I think that's sort of the important thing. I'm not here to speak about whether you should listen to Reuters or Bloomberg. It's just a matter of getting the story right. One thing Brennan always did well, and Adara does fantastically as well, is it's more important if you're going to trade off news to have it right than to be first. I would rather not trade into like this parabolic move. I'm unsure what's going on. And then you miss out on maybe it goes further, it gets to $150. I'd rather that happen than this alternative. And I think that's one of the things for a trader. You got to be willing to, as a trader, they used to always say this to me, you got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. Yeah. Meaning there has to be something about, I like this, but it doesn't give me an execution plan. Like I can like the setup, I can like the news, but there's no execution plan. And if you don't have an execution plan, you don't have a trade, for sure. I know we're getting Kodak after the bell for earnings, but a couple of other things that I did want to go over because I alluded to, and we'd mentioned Nvidia's weakness and another company which did not have a good day, Tesla down 5%. So you can talk about the V-shaped bottoms and the NASDAQ recovery and the ES doing really well today. Well, Tesla down 5 points, another $13 to the downside. It just continues. It did make a rally late in the day trying to get to 240 and then pulled right back in. But on the daily chart, there just has been no reprieve. You bounce a day or two, and there's no follow-through for Tesla. So it's still very much in that dead zone, trending back in. A lot of charts look like this that attempted bounces today. But I want to set things up. Like if you bounced last week and made a higher low off of that drop on Monday, Tuesday, did you break out last week's high? And the stocks that did are the stocks that I'm going to like going forward for the rest of this week. Tesla did not. I would posit that there's a few that did. Like I look at Apple, which was able to late in the day make a bit of that breakout and start to continue. So the stocks that were able to go, those are the ones I want to be able to jump into and look for continuation. And I'm actually interested in your take because one of the stocks I was pulling up, and the firm had a couple of good opportunities to trade in today. You like spready stocks. Mm-hmm. And I know you only look at expensive stocks because they tend to have bigger spreads. Yeah. You'd be surprised, a stock like a firm at times on volume will have a bigger than normal spread for a $47 stock. Yeah. I think it would be up your alley. Something we were just talking about, which is when you know a trading style someone likes, it's like, well, a firm's in play today, and it's probably more akin to the stocks you trade than you think.
It is.
And it certainly gave you lots of opportunities to say, I'm happy. It's weird. I only made money short. And really the best trade I think would have been a long off the low, but there was good shorts off the open, and then there was a good short late in the day at 47.20, but there was a good reversion trend long. But what were you trading today, Adara?
Well, yeah, I mean, I traded a couple of names. I was basically like flat on the day because there was some stuff in the morning, but we were able to make it all back, which is really nice. Affirm was actually on my watch list, and it's one I watched because I know it does have spread. So yeah, I didn't see anything that showed up for my liking, and by then I was looking at other tickers. BRKB was my really juicy, I think, meat hook. I want to shout out Obi for calling this one out for me. Basically, this one was kind of trending, right? We had a couple days to the upside. So first attempt at this, we actually get stopped out basically for flat. And then I'm like, oh, it's actually still working on this uptrend. So I got back in, able to take that to the close, did not leave till like 357. So happy with how this turned out. That's why you really have to find your niche, right? Like, I think Affirm is another one that I would say is certainly in that spready realm, but it's like, what tickers are you setting up the best for you for your strategy? In this case, this BRKB looked good. I had some plays on AAPL as well. So it's like, you have to find what works for you. Sometimes two tickers will set up when you're not looking at them. Affirm certainly was the case of that. I liked it right off the open, but I wasn't quick enough with it. Also, though, I do want to mention here, thank you, Darwin, for putting this in the chat. And I just verified this on my own, found this as well. Darwin bringing this to my attention. Wall Street Journal reporting that Alphabet, so the parent of Google there, is once again in talks to buy Wiz, which is a cybersecurity startup, for $30 billion. Initially, this was reported last year, but those talks reportedly fell through. Now they're starting back up again. So Google apparently trying to buy whiz once again, as reported by Wall Street Journal.
So I know we don't have much in the way of earnings, but Getty is moving a little bit here. So they did a report. They're up 11%. Remember, $2 stock here, Getty Images. But they did, I just saw it a second ago. They beat on EPS. They also beat on sales. So that's top and bottom. And it looks like
Guidance is
the guidance is iffy. Yeah, the guidance is a miss, isn't it?
Well, the guidance was 918 mil to 955 mil. So the higher end of that is just above estimates of 954.667 mil. But I mean, if you're going to do midpoint, they're absolutely missed. That's a miss.
But keep in mind, 6% short float and $2 stock, right? So when you're beaten up like Getty is, I'm not going to tell you that's a good-looking daily chart because it's, well, yeah, I mean, there's words I could use. Putrid would be one of them. That's probably the best one. It's a really ugly-looking daily chart. So it's more of like a relief rally. 12% is nothing on a stock like this. You're expecting a little bit more volatility with it. So even with the miss on the guide, they are to the upside. This could always be worth it for like a continuation play, like a day trade tomorrow. Because when you look at this daily, like it hasn't done anything off this low yet. Like your bottom's here around $2. And your local resistance here is like $3 and another one at $3.80. There's lots of room if this is going to do some extra volume tomorrow to be able to pay attention to. As I said, there's not going to be too much to look for. But obviously, that's one. The other one that we're expecting is Kodak, which had that late day, I mean, it had a late afternoon rally, and it's up a little bit in the aftermarket here. I haven't seen anything on the earnings, but a pretty small one there for Kodak. I don't think it's that big of a name. The other name that we're talking about for relative weakness, in addition to Tesla today, I know the market was strong. It's easy to go over those, and we saw a lot in the afternoon. Nvidia down 2% today. Take it easy, Sean. 2% down for Nvidia today. You know, it gapped up. You had the event start, and it just seems like, oh, excuse to sell? AI event starting? Let's just sell the event. Let's just sell the news. Because Nvidia was the strongest name this morning, gapping higher. It caught a great bottom, runs into that 120 area, holds early in the morning off one bounce, but then continued lower. So unfortunately, got Nvidia, which is trying to break, I mean, I don't want to call it a downward trend, but it did break an upward channel that it was in, and it's trying to revert off of that. But you can't get back to the moving average of, I mean, the 200 period's back at 127. I think that would be the next stop if there's any more bids underneath it. I just feel like none of these charts, and I've bought some stuff recently too, none of these charts look like this is over, in my opinion, in terms of pulling back. I think it's like the DCA patience kind of year thing, because I could easily see Nvidia back in the 90s. I've said I think Walmart is one that I want to be continuing to DCA in, because to me, I didn't have enough of Walmart on the way up. So what I've been doing is trying to build into this, but I've only bought once, and it hasn't gotten to the 200 period yet, technically. So I'll wait till it actually gets to that level. Next quarter, buy another lot the next quarter, and then buy another one the next quarter, and then the next quarter, because that's what DCAing is all about. But you know what we're also all about here? Talking some higher time frames with our favorite chartered market technician. Time for a little trader talk with you-know-who. Ooh, there he is. Mr. Knox, that's what I'm talking about. So is that green? Tell me this.
I heard your criticisms after this morning show, so I went and I made sure I found a green sweater to put on.
Well, there you go. See, I got the green shirt on underneath the sweater. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I don't know if you celebrate it the way that I'm sure we all did in our youth. I don't anymore.
No, not with two young kids rolling around, that's for sure. Especially because I'm so old. If I have a couple beers, it'll take me a week and a half to recover.
Oh, come on. It's probably not that bad. But you said an interesting word there, recover. Mm-hmm. Today, you had a bit of a market bounce. Of course, on Friday, there was a bit of a bounce. Today, you had some fall through, maybe not as much in Nvidia or Tesla, but plenty of other names and plenty of sectors continued their bounces here.
Yep.
What caught your eye? Because some of the moves off the lows, I'm specifically looking at a couple of big-time movers on the indexes, like uranium and solar, which people have been trying to catch bombs in that forever. Those had a good jolt. The Chinese names had some good runs. What caught your eye today? Because there's a lot of places you could have had your attention go to.
The lack of participation with the Mag 7 is the main thing that caught my eye. And actually, the chart I have up here this is MAGS for those who are looking. It's just an ETF that just holds the Mag 7, the big guys, and you can see, today's candle down a little bit in today and couldn't get going at all. You take a look at the SPY. Nice little bounce, and more importantly, the RSP, which is the equal weighted version of the S&P 500, a massive sizable bounce today. So that to me was the biggest thing. The fact that we had such a good bounce and we didn't have the participation of Nvidia or Tesla or any of these names that have been so popular for a couple of years. Yes, it's only 1 day worth of data, but it's really interesting because it's been a long time since I've seen a rally this big that didn't have those names. So that shows to me that there's a lot of stuff under the hood. I'm sure we'll get to, but financials being one of them with a big bounce. Financials and healthcare. You mentioned uranium. I'm very interested there as well. But the fact that we could rally this much without those names that we just heard over and over and over again participating, I think that's awesome because it means there is this rotation under the hood we've been waiting so long for.
Yeah, and the other side to that rotation, at least part of that rotation as well, has been happening outside of the U.S. So you see China doing really well today, despite, you could argue for those that are looking at fundamentals, you could argue either way about the economic data that came out this morning with regards to retail and industrial production and housing in China. But yeah, rotation is the name of the game. So the one thing I would look at, specifically if we just jump back to the RSP for a quick little second, because I think what I usually would look at for something like the RSP is, I think you've got a pretty distinct channel which is starting to form. And this recent bottom gives it to you because if you start to connect some of these recent lows, and I could draw this, it doesn't necessarily matter whether you draw the trend line in here. But when I look at this, like if it were to, let's just say, get to the top of the trend, I could draw the trend line at the top, doesn't really matter, you get the point. When it gets to the top of the trend, I keep thinking we're in a choppy market. So anything that gets to top of trend or bottom of trend, I want to look for these reversion plays. But are you looking reversions long only, or do you look at any short reversions on things that you think have strength as well?
I'm with you on the choppy market. I remember coming at the beginning of the year and saying this is probably going to be a choppy market because it's year 3 of a bull market. We had 2 back-to-back 20% plus years. Makes sense that we're going to rest this year. So I'm 100% with you that I think that chop's going to continue. I think it's going to continue for some time. When it comes to shorting, I just don't do it well. It's one of those I've went over my data, and I know you guys encourage this as well. You have to record your trades. You have to go over your data. And as somebody who's a quant, and what I do at Stats Edge is we backtest these systems going back 30, 40 years and look for edge that we can kind of prove. It's really, really hard to find. So what I'll do is mainly be in cash or in positions. So, last week I bought a whole bunch of names on the way down because the system just told me to, and I'm kind of holding a lot of those names. But if we do get to the top of the channel, I think it'll be more about selling those and going back to cash. I think you really have to play this whole buy the dip, sell the rip kind of mentality until something proves different. And for me, it could be even, this entire year and maybe a little bit more. So it's why I'm focused on this whole buy the dip, sell the rip mentality. And as always, looking for relative strengths. Like you mentioned China, I've been talking about that. I'm very long FXI and BABA from, weeks and weeks back. So hoping that this landing sticks, but that's the play to me, is that where in the rest of the world are we seeing strength? And then also, is there dip buys to be had, and just take a couple bucks when you can get it on the way down, and then when things bounce, you kind of go to cash and you wait for the next dip to get involved in.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. And look, I'm in BABA too, candidly, so I like it as well. Seeing some people were asking about Lucid, it's barely moving, and Kodak did a report, but it's not moving a heck of a lot. But I wanted to ask you about the quant names. I know we went to dinner recently, and when you came out here and we were talking, I think it was a week or two after that, and you mentioned that you were going to start to play with some systems that might apply a little bit to some of these types of movers. And I don't think anything moved quite the way that it's D-Wave. I always want to call it qubits because of the ticker, but I don't think anything really moved the way that QBTS did, at least the back half of last week, and then another big volatile day today. So I want, if you can give me your technical thoughts on it, because for a 21% short float at the actual 52-week high, which it challenged today, and is able to and it kind of held on to it. I mean, it's close enough, maybe like 10 cents away. It's like 8 cents away from that prior 52-week high. So clearly there's something big happening here. What is this telling you technically? Because it's always tricky to buy tops.
Yeah, so funny enough, so this is completely unrelated, and of course the systems I'm building know nothing about the stories behind this, but this purple line that I have right here, this is actually an entry that the systems that I'm building for pullbacks actually triggered. That's around 750. Of course, we need to get there this week. So what happens is, at the end of every week, I run all of the systems that we currently have running at StatsEdge and any ones that I'm going to build, and it just spits out a bunch of tickers with potential entry points if they get there, and then I just set these alerts. So that's what that line is, and it would be an interesting pullback. I like ones that line up technically, even though this is found kind of quantitatively, at about the 750. And it sounds like a big pullback, but you look at this chart, this went from 80 or 78 cents to 13 bucks and back again. It's one of those that if we pull back to there, I'll probably hold my nose and buy, but I think if we do, it'll end up being really, really hard. So there's a couple things going on. From a long-term chart here, the chart looks great because you had this action. Anytime you see this on a chart, that means this was a SPAC. It de-SPAC'd, it crashed all the way to 33 cents, and now it's back up at that price. So like you mentioned with the short float, with anyone who's sold, they're kind of feeling the pain right now. So through these all-time highs, we know that they're in trouble. However, part of my worry is that none of these companies do anything yet, and they're all just riding on a hope and a dream that they may do something in the future. So my worry is that, especially when we have this, I know they're calling it Quantum Day, but I looked at the schedule, and each CEO gets about 5 minutes to talk about their company, like all day. That's all the press they get. I'm worried that this is going to be a pretty epic sell the news event if we're up at this zone, but it's certainly not something that I would short myself. I just don't think I can other than the trade that the system's telling me to take, I don't think I could bring myself to hold these for any length of time.
Yeah, that's sort of the worry. And we talked about the sell the news event. I mean, they sold Nvidia at the start of this week, and if nothing good comes out of it, and the stock has gone up 100% in the last couple of days, I'm with you on that. And to everyone that might look at that chart and say, well, 750 is ridiculous, I think that's a pretty measured and reasonable pullback, because at least if you get it, you're going to have yourself a reasonable out, as opposed to needing to hold it 40, 50%, like some ridiculous number against you. And I always say, like, it's one thing to have, I like the stock, or I like the possibility of a contention, it's got squeeze potential, all that kind of good stuff. But if you don't actually have a trade entry, then what's the point? Like, Reddit was flying around on this afternoon. I'm like, oh, I kind of like the volume here, but I don't have an exit if I get a long up at the top. And if I don't have an exit till 125, you can't really be long at 137 in the afternoon, because $12 worth of risk at 320 is a really bad idea on a stock like that, because it's not going $12 up. So I like the fact that you have a structured idea, which you're patiently waiting for, which brings me to ask you, is there anything maybe that we haven't covered that is catching your eye a bit? I know I was off last week, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you about what you might think about energy and where that nat gas might still be going. It was a good day for XLE today, but I didn't really have a look at nat gas. What other names might be on your mind right now?
Yeah, so nat gas, I'm still in. We can go to UNG, and again, the idea behind this was a really long-term play. The 200-day moving average was acting as a blanket, so I'm in from around the $17 area, and again, just holding this one for a period of time. But when it comes to a lot of these plays, and I can click through a lot of them, they're doing the same thing. So again, the beauty of what we're doing with the back tests is there's 30 some odd symbols that come out, and so far none of them have triggered. But you can see a lot of the same kind of price action that we're waiting for. So Groupon, for example, if you took today out of the equation, when I'm running the data, it's at 15 and wants to pull back to 12.5. And these are all, again, areas that are picked by algorithms. And that's the way I'm going to continue to play a lot of these names probably for the rest of the year, because when the beauty of having this data is I can go back and I can see what happened in similar markets. Did these systems perform very well or perform very poorly? And they performed pretty well. So again, buy the dip, sell the rip mentality. But when it comes to that, and I was talking about energy and commodities this morning, and you mentioned this as well. Talk about sell the dip, or buy the dip, sell the rip. This URA has a massive level at 24. You can see resistance all through here, 2022, 2023. It was support in 2024, and now it's acting as support again in 2025. So I'm really interested in some of these commodities. Oil stands out. We have uranium stand out, that they're all coming down to the support zone. And the thing I like about a lot of these is that they seem to be tariff proof, I guess, is a new word that we can kind of coin here, where if I'm going to start throwing all these tariffs around, the one thing that I think we can pretty much know for sure that he's not going to tariff is commodities that are mined and created inside of America. So I think that's why natural gas is doing okay. I think that's why copper is doing okay. I think that's why uranium is doing fine as well. So URA is one way to play uranium. NLR is another ticker that I talk about, where it has both uranium and these small and large nuclear reactors in there as well. That might be another way to play it. But yeah, a lot of these commodity names I think are starting to get interesting. So SCCO, which is Southern Copper, you can see is at a very decent support zone and now getting a bounce from it. So they're not sexy names. They're not like really awesome names. But as we talked about, the Mag 7 was down today and the rest of the market was up. So I think we got to go fishing under the hood for some of these less fun names to play. Well,
Southern Copper might not be a sexy name, but what you just saw with the flat bottom and the descending wedge, when you break that top and you're outs at that bottom, that's a sexy looking chart to me. You know, when I see that, I'm like, I get jazzed, because that's exactly the kind of setup I like. I don't take swing trades very often, but that is always a good step. Find that support, find that trend down, it breaks the trend, you have an obvious entry, and then you know where your stop is going to go, so the trade sort of makes itself. But you have to be able to find the names to trade. That's why we appreciate having you on, Michael, because we know you're going to give us a technical basis to know where to look, and that's what Stats Edge is all about, finding those opportunities. Now with you got uranium in there. I know you've looked at crypto, and now we're talking commodities. We're even talking D-Wave here. Some of the high-flying names in the quantum space. So that's the beauty of the technicals, is the charts don't necessarily care what sector you're going to be in. You just have to be able to respect them. So
it's all trade. Give me a tradable instrument in which the price is derived by some sort of auction market, and I'll trade it.
That's what we love to hear. Traders know traders, and we respect it and love you, Michael. And I'll appreciate all the good comments and there from our audience as well. Appreciating you as well. And have a fun and great St. Patrick's Day, even if you're not going to take part in any festivities. I'm sure most people did that on the weekend, but have a good one. Best of luck the rest of the week in your training, Michael. Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys soon. See you Friday.
Take care. Always fun having Michael Noss on there. We appreciate it. And the super chat. Thank you for the super chat here. Christopher Mulligan. Hopefully you didn't need any mulligans on the trading. Oh, after I do this, I have to tell something about some mini golf. Market closed 20 minutes ago, still 3K watching. Appreciate you guys and appreciate our viewers. There wasn't even that much earnings, but we can get some knowledge. We can talk about what is reporting. We can go over some of the news stories. We can go over some of the sectors. We can go over some trade ideas, because that's what it's all about. It helps you prepare for tomorrow, helps you prepare for next week, and that's what we try to do here. But because Mulligan got mentioned, on the strip, Adara, there were 2 mini golfs owned by the same company.
No.
And my daughter drives past. It's got like a pirate flair to it.
Yeah.
So we drive past. She's like, I want to do mini golf. I'm like, my daughter says she wants to do something. Generally speaking, it ends up probably happening. So we end up playing both of their courses. And I'm not going to say who won. I'm an adult. She's a kid. But she got a hole-in-one on one of the most ridiculous holes. And there was a bit of a wait to go to the next hole. And so she gets a hole in one. I'm like cheering, going nuts. And like there's a couple of couples because there's a wait. They turn around. They're like, wow. And they're like, do it again. So she goes right back up and drops another hole in one.
No.
And the thing that was killing me was, like, I wasn't filming most of it because you're not going to film every single hole. She hits the hole in one. It didn't even occur to me, well, what if she does it again? Let's film this. And of course, like everyone starts going nuts and cheering. They're like, do it a third time, which she didn't do it a third time. By the way, it was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't believe it. And of course, that just meant we're going to have to play a lot more mini golf in the future because now she's into that as well.
That's amazing.
But I love it. I love doing stuff with the family. But it is, I know it's 4:30. Don't at me, everybody. We got to get some roll call in there as well. And again, I just want to appreciate all the viewers. And I got a lot of people reach out saying, I hope you had a great time and giving me places to go and making sure that check this out, check that out. It's really cool to have such a supportive community. But as a reminder to everybody about how roll call works, you want to be a real part of this community, you got to be in the chat, everybody. And you got to hit the subscribe button if you want to be in this chat. And it's the best community out there, very supportive. We're all here to learn. We're all here to get better as traders and investors, and that's what it's all about here. So shout out to everybody. But if you want your name read, hit that subscribe. Throwing a big thank you to Fabian Ramin on the 1s and 2s, the Bash Brothers at the desk on the midday, Joe and Sharif. Shout out to Joe for filling in for me and Obi last week, doing a fantastic job. Shout out to Brendo as well. Shout out to Andre. Shout out to Adara on the news desk, killing it, making sure everyone got the Reddit story right and didn't get rugged, saving lots of money, I'm sure, for a lot of people that didn't buy the top on that. Big shout out to my boy Sean, of course, who's going to be back at the rink tonight. And of course, got to give a big shout out to both Michael and Bears versus Bulls, the best moderator in the business. So everyone give a big thanks to Bears versus Bulls, as Adara is going to do some roll call.
Thank you so much to everybody in this community. Thank you to Bears versus Bulls for everything you do. Neil, great to have you back. Thank you to Joe, Sharif, Obi, Sean, we have Brendan, we have Fabian Ramin, Andre, and of course, again, our moderator, Bears versus Bulls. We got, Raul in the chat, Sam, Warren Wall Street, Damien Tarza, Sir Poopy Paper Hands, Profits Never, Always Ever, Marie, Chancellor Palm, Silverado Blue, Dollar Bill, Stevenson, Havana Woody, 3 7s. We have Afterstar, Nick Downs, Garov, The Piper. We've got Malcolm Aldridge, DJ2AM, Stevenson again, Silverado Blue again, a lot of the same names here. Sebastian Ontiveros, it's a new name here, and Bears versus Bulls here again. Or Alpha, we have 3 7s, Dan Gale, Brian Collins, J Muck, Brandon Townsend, Bright Awakening, and Rubicon 846. We'll end with that. We'll see you guys all tomorrow morning, bright and early, for more market stiffs.
And we'll have more of the AI event going on. The market is not going to rest. We've got Fed on Wednesday. We've got imbalances on Friday. It's a big week, everybody. We're Trader TV Live. Rest up. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. We're right back at you tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.
See you guys.